When Luna Gardner received the call from her mother, she had just finished lunch and returned to her bedroom. Her mother, as always, cut straight to the chase, her voice laced with the usual concern and worry as she asked about Luna's recent mental state. Luna paused by the window and replied with 2 words, "I'm okay." "Oh." Her mother seemed to let out a breath, then hesitated slightly. "Leo's high school entrance exams are in a few days. Once he's done, why don't you move back home?" "No, I'm fine here." Luna lowered her eyes, her fingers tracing the texture of the linen curtains as she softly refused. "I don't want to go back just yet." Her mother fell silent for a moment. "All right, but if anything happens, you must tell me." Luna hummed in agreement and hung up. This was Luna's 173rd day in this apartment complex. The property was in her mother's name. They had bought it fully paid off, but the family of 4 had rarely visited, leaving it mostly vacant. That changed 6 months ago. Worried that her condition would have a negative impact on her younger brother, Leo, during his critical exam preparation period, her parents had asked her to stay here temporarily. At the dinner table that night, her parents wore expressions of gentle apology as they proposed the arrangement, which was a last resort for them as well. But no matter how impeccable their attitude and tone, there was no denying that the scene felt more like a notification than a discussion. Luna, naturally, didn't object. She knew that her prolonged depression had left her family physically and mentally exhausted. On her first day moving in, her mother sent workers to seal the balcony and windows completely. An apartment with bright windows and an excellent view was thoroughly transformed into an impenetrable stainless steel prison after an afternoon of conservative renovations. Luna stood before the window, watching the pale sky and lead gray clouds sliced into equal portions by the security bars, looking like pieces of moldy cream cake. It was custom-made for a hunchback or a swamp monster, someone like her. Her mother stayed with her that first night. Before leaving the next morning, she hugged Luna tightly, choking back tears as she wished for her to get better soon. Luna could feel the warmth of her mother's skin, yet she couldn't be melted by it. She had disconnected from the world. Or rather, she had faded from it, becoming transparent. She had lost her 5 senses. She couldn't see vibrant colors, couldn't taste the sour, sweet, bitter, or spicy. Eating, drinking, and sleeping were all tedious, arduous tasks. Most of the time, she just wanted to stay in her bedroom, lying there alone, even though her terrible sleep quality was its own form of torture. The move had been kept from her brother. Leo thought she had just gone back to the clinic for rehabilitation. The boy, still in the dark, sent her a private message over the weekend recommending she watch Doctor Strange. He said, "Sis, you have to watch this movie." Doctor Strange was also essentially ruined by a car accident and couldn't operate anymore. But in the end, he saved the world. Even though he had magic, what really made him better wasn't the magic, but that he conquered himself. His pride and self-esteem meant he never gave up and always believed in himself. Luna replied, "Thank you." In the end, she only watched 10 minutes before turning it off. Her empathy had hit rock bottom. She could no longer draw any energy from images or words. Luna didn't live alone. Of course, her condition wasn't suitable for solitary living. There was a live-in housekeeper hired by her mother to keep her company, responsible for her 3 meals, daily routine, and ensuring she took her medication on time. Beyond that, she was there to guarantee Luna's physical safety. The woman was stout, but had an exceptionally gentle face. Luna called her Mrs. Miller. When her mother first brought her to Luna, the woman had been eager to build a rapport, her voice booming and enthusiastic. "Luna, we're destined to get along. My name is Martha, which sounds a bit like Luna, don't you think?" Luna asked. "What is your full name?" "Martha Miller," she said. Luna said, "It sounds nice. Friendly." Mrs. Miller looked amazed, glancing sideways at Luna's mother. "Your daughter is beautiful and so polite. I never thought my name could be associated with something nice." 2 days after her mother left, Mrs. Miller relaxed. After bringing dinner to the room, she wouldn't leave immediately. Instead, she would chat away. "Luna, don't worry about me not taking good care of you. I have experience. My husband has this same illness, and he was worse than you. He was that thing. Bipolar, I can't remember the term. Sometimes he was very excited. Sometimes he didn't want to do anything. My daughter took him to the doctor, and he took medicine." Luna asked, "How is he now?" Mrs. Miller looked proud. He's doing great now. He can live on his own, otherwise, how could I come out to work? Luna hummed and meh and slowly finished the custard in her spoon. Mrs. Miller looked at her beautiful, thin appearance and sighed slightly. You will get better, too. You will get better. Over the past year, Luna had heard this sentence at least 10,000 times from different people, cheering her on with pity or kindness. But was she really getting better? Sometimes she felt her soul had been knocked out of her body in that accident. Since then, she was just a hollowed-out apple, shriveled and incomplete, hanging on a branch, waiting for the last wind of late autumn to blow her down. Sometimes, Luna even suspected her heart had stopped beating. But in the dead of night, she could clearly hear the rhythm inside her body. Under the side effects of the medication, the beat seemed unusually panicked, as if struggling helplessly to keep her alive. Regulating her breathing and falling asleep became Luna's daily unsolvable problem. Even with the help of medication, the night was like a black plastic bag, wrapping her up tightly so no air could get in. Yet she could find a suffocating stability within it because she didn't have to face people or things, nor their scrutiny and interrogation. These days went on for a long time. On the 173rd day, Luna stared unblinkingly at the day counter on her app, as if performing a countdown ritual, even though the moment of liberation seemed indefinitely postponed. Luna sat back at her desk, clicked open her black pen, and began to write in her diary. After her diagnosis, she had developed the habit of keeping a diary. The entries were all written as letters, invariably starting with Dear Luna. But usually, as soon as she wrote her name, the page would start to blur. Luna covered her eyes with one hand and closed the notebook with the other, giving up on recording today. Today, she was still accomplished at nothing. Even a single pen stroke was a luxury. Her palms quickly became wet with sweat seeping through her fingers. She sank weakly into this gray, viscous swamp again, unable to save herself, unable to call for help. Suddenly, a completely unfamiliar, high-pitched sound pierced her ears. Luna froze, lowering her hand in confusion. Bang, before she could process it, a series of drum beats came crashing in dense and intense, yet not chaotic. They were organized. The sealed glass and heavy curtains couldn't stop the storm-like sound from penetrating the room. In the dim atmosphere, the rhythmic pounding and stomping seemed capable of sparking sparks. Goosebumps rose all over Luna's body. The drumming grew wilder, possessing an astonishing vitality. Like thousands of seeds casually scattered, instantly breaking through the soil and growing, surging and grand. In an instant, they wove a towering forest, a thick shade of green. Luna was completely captivated, listening with full attention. It wasn't until the drum set fell silent, and the window was quiet again save for distant voices and birdsong, that she realized she had been digging her nails into her hands for too long, leaving several bloody crescent marks on her skin. But she felt no pain, only sitting there in surprise. Since her career ended, this was the first time during the day that she clearly heard her own heartbeat, as if she had just experienced the power of a defibrillator. After a moment, Luna stood up from her chair and walked out of the bedroom without thinking. Because that drumming was so fierce and vigorous, it felt like a brief miracle that wouldn't appear in the life of someone like her. She was worried it was an auditory hallucination and couldn't wait to confirm it. Mrs. Miller was coming back from the balcony with a few scallions she had just picked. She was surprised and delighted to run into Luna. "Hey, Luna, do you need something?" In the 6 months she had been caring for Luna, the girl rarely walked out of her bedroom voluntarily. She was like a flower living in a black box, its survival uncertain despite all efforts to water it. What surprised her even more was that a spark of urgency had appeared in the girl's usually gray eyes. At that moment, she stood there, took a deep breath, and asked anxiously, "Did you hear a sound just now?" "What sound?" Mrs. Miller looked confused. Luna's chest heaved slightly. The sound of drums beating, just for a short while. "Oh, that," Mrs. Miller realized. "I'm not sure which apartment it is. If it keeps being noisy, I'll complain to the property management." "No, it didn't disturb me," Luna shook her head, confirming again, "You really heard it, right?" Mrs. Miller clutched the scallions, frowning. "Yes," Luna's eyes showed more emotion. "Don't complain, I like that sound." Mrs. Miller was surprised but agreed anyway. "All right then." She turned to look at the floor-to-ceiling window in the living room facing south. "It's the first time I've heard it. I don't know who it is." Luna returned to her bedroom and stopped by the window. After a moment, she raised her hand. With a swish, the curtain was pulled aside. Like a Pandora's box reopening, a waterfall of sunlight instantly flooded the room. Luna bathed in it, involuntarily squinting her eyes. The high-rise opposite came into view. The architectural style of this mid-rise complex was relatively mediocre. The building color was plaster yellow with a touch of European style, not exactly beautiful, but not ugly either. Many identical, symmetrical windows made it look like a photo wall designed by someone with OCD, framing the myriad states of life. Luna recalled the drumming and guessed it must have come from the building opposite. But after observing from top to bottom, she found nothing. To ensure good lighting, the distance between the buildings was quite far. Plus, she hadn't used her eyes in strong light for a long time and wasn't used to it. They were already feeling a bit dry. Luna rubbed her eyelids twice, pulled the curtains closed, and returned to the shadows. She decided to wait. Maybe that person would play again. That day, Luna gave up her afternoon nap to wait attentively on her bed. She glanced at her phone, then at the window. A strong anticipation drummed in her heart like a gale, bringing a long-lost clamor to her barren wilderness. Sure enough, a little after 4 p.m., the drums sounded again. This time the beating was different from noon. It was no longer wild and uninhibited. At first, it was fast then slow, the crisp brightness of metal mixing with the dull thud of the drumheads, fluently repeating the same rhythm. Gradually, the speed increased, rising and falling with such ease, such arrogance, even carrying a haughty disregard for everything. It seemed capable of piercing the air within 100 meters, bursting it all into tiny but sharp ice blades that stabbed straight into the eardrums. Luna's breathing quickened. She found her feet inadvertently standing on tiptoe, tapping out the beat. Before this, she had regarded them as a pair of useless scraps. She hurriedly got out of bed and opened the curtains again. Her gaze swept across every window of the opposite building like a probe searching for alien life on the moon's surface. The drumming lasted for a long time, but due to the limited range of vision, Luna couldn't lock onto the target. She turned and walked out of the bedroom to the wider window in the living room. After opening the window pane, the drumming became clearer. It was like a wide-range magic spell, heart-pounding and fascinating. Luna stood on her toes, looking far into the distance, trying to identify the specific location. Downstairs, 2 little boys wearing red scarves walked by, also craning their necks in amazement, trying to find the source of the drumming. Seeing this, Mrs. Miller walked over and stood beside her. "I was just about to call you out to listen." Luna kept her eyes on the window. "Can you tell where it's coming from?" Mrs. Miller listened for a moment. "It looks like it's right opposite. It wasn't there before. Is it a new tenant?" Luna steadied herself. "Maybe." It was a pity she couldn't find who was playing. Fortunately, for the next few days, Luna could hear the drums between 4 o'clock p.m. and 4:30 p.m. She figured out the drummer's schedule. They chose a time that avoided disturbing other residents' rest. Her diary had new content. It was no longer just despair shrouded in dark clouds. Descriptions of the drumming joined in rhythm, form, color, and even insights and fantasies. Insights into the vitality and surge they brought her, and fantasies about the appearance of the creator of such exquisite rhythm. Interest, hope, excitement. These words, sealed away for so long, began to reveal their contours in her mind. Every afternoon, she would sit behind the living room window for half an hour, heels rocking, fingers tapping, listening to the entire drumming session from across the way. The girl's face was pious and focused, as if on a pilgrimage or in prayer. Mrs. Miller noticed the change in her mental state. One afternoon, after buying groceries, she specially chatted with a cleaning lady she knew in the complex and found out exactly which building and floor the new tenant who loved drumming lived on. When she came back, she excitedly shared the news with Luna. Turns out, he really lived in the building directly opposite, on the same floor as them, Unit 1203, and she hadn't noticed. The next day, the familiar drumming ignited the evening again. Luna ran to the window and anxiously focused her gaze on the apartment parallel to hers. It was understandable that she hadn't discovered it. After all, judging by the layout, the areas facing her perspective were the kitchen and bedroom, and he most likely wouldn't drum in those 2 places. From that day on, The time Luna spent patrolling and squatting behind the living room window grew longer each day. From leaving at 4:30, it dragged on to 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock. Occasionally, during dinner, she would hold her bowl and use the lit windows opposite as a side dish. Luna felt she was going a bit mad, like a stalker fan gradually losing her reason. Fortunately, she was already a mental patient, so Mrs. Miller's reaction was only relief, not weirded out. After a few days of observing the owner's daily movements, Luna concluded that he was a male, tall and thin, liked to wear dark clothes, didn't go into the kitchen much, and rarely opened the bedroom curtains. Like a black whale swimming alone in an isolated island, he almost never surfaced. Due to the distance, she couldn't see his face clearly, but that was enough. Before doing anything more inappropriate, Luna warned herself. Facts proved that interest is a bacteria difficult to resist. The more suppressed, the more it rages. A week later, Luna succumbed to her curiosity and ordered a small, portable white pair of binoculars online. The seller highly recommended them for concerts and plays, so using them to catch a glimpse of her idol's face and performance shouldn't be that improper or unbearable. Besides, she only planned to look once. Just one look and she would be relieved, settled, satisfied. Mission accomplished. The next day, after getting the package from Mrs. Miller, Luna went back to her room, unpacked it, adjusted it simply, and arrived at her designated believer's seat on time, clutching the 8x scope. 3 p.m. The drums sounded as expected. Today's beats had changed again, with many high and low tones alternating, unpredictable and showing off technique. Fast enough to seem superhuman, like aggressive hail in midsummer, or persistent autumn rain capable of piercing stone. Thunder would explode intermittently, giving the illusion of a full band. Luna was already nervous. Now, with the drumming rendering the atmosphere, her heart was crumpled to the extreme, her gaze trembling as she stared at that side. But strangely, the man didn't play for the full half hour before stopping. It was as if his energy was spent and there was no more sound. Silence all around. Luna stood up from her chair, frowning slightly in worry. At that moment, a figure suddenly appeared behind the locked-on window. It was the drummer. He was still wearing a black t-shirt, walking straight toward the kitchen sink, then stopping. His position was directly facing her. Now or never. Luna took 2 steps back, turned her head to check, confirmed Mrs. Miller was humming a tune while prepping vegetables with singular focus, then carefully took out the binoculars from her pocket, unfolded them, and placed them before her eyes. After adjusting the focus, the man's upper body instantly rushed into her eyes, as clear as a film real close at hand. In an instant, Luna's heartbeat frequency rivaled the drum beats from moments ago. The man leaned forward slightly, scrubbing his hands, the veins in his arms popping from the exertion. Because his head was lowered, his falling jet black bangs obscured his eyebrows and eyes, appearing and disappearing with his movements. His overall vibe was close to what she imagined, but not entirely the same. She thought he would be wilder, but he was clean and lean, with a touch of unstyled laziness. Considering her position was too blatant, Luna looked left and right for cover. Finally, she shifted slightly behind the curtain to the side before raising the binoculars again. The next moment, Luna's pupils shrank suddenly. She lowered her hands, unable to recover for a moment. The scene of the man suddenly lifting his eyelids and raising his face replayed repeatedly in her brain like a brand. Obviously, with a face like that, no woman could manage to just look once. A few years ago, while touring Europe with her ballet company, Luna had stayed in a small town at the foot of the Alps for a few days. The scenery of the town was excellent, like a high-saturation oil painting. Luna's hotel room faced the snow-capped mountains directly. Every time she opened the window, she was greeted by the stretching snowy ridges, the interplay of rock gray and pure white possessing a unique, piercing beauty. That visual effect, cold as a blade, always made one's breath catch. This afternoon, Luna felt the exact same sensation through the binoculars. Some people have features like pebbles round, approachable, easy to get close to with a gentle smile. But the man opposite was clearly the other kind. You couldn't exactly call his features heavy, but he had sharp angles. His nose bridge was narrow and high, his jawline sharp, and when his slightly long eyes slanted upward, they revealed a somewhat impatient aggression. Luna stood frozen for 2 seconds, then lowered her eyes and folded the binoculars. From this second on, she gave up guessing. She wasn't surprised at all why such a person could beat out such rhythms. His appearance and his drumming matched perfectly, reaching an extreme. Her imagination had been too subtle and conservative. After returning to the bedroom, Luna's emotions were hard to calm, similar to a reaction to medication, but she hadn't taken any pills in the last 2 hours. She ran back to her desk, opened her journal, and a clear shadow instantly ran into the words. Her epistolary diary also changed its addressee, no longer a daily, last testament concerning only herself. Dear neighbor across the way, you really aren't mortal. It's enough that you play the drums so powerfully, but why do you have to look so striking too? Luna wrote furiously, with a fluency that was extremely rare. The ending of today's diary was, "Looking forward to your performance tomorrow afternoon. I will be there on time." Early the next morning, her mother came to accompany her to see the psychologist, a mandatory monthly procedure. Luna was eating breakfast. Her mother was somewhat surprised. Usually, Luna would be unresponsive and drag her feet, viewing this as going into battle. Today, she showed no resistance, as if she had prepared early. In the consulting room, for the first time, Luna didn't show that painful look of self-dissection. Instead, as if pulling out a bag of candy, she stuffed her observations from the past half-month into the doctor's ears one by one, unable to stop. The doctor listened patiently, raised his eyebrows, and praised, "You have people and things you are interested in. This is very good." Luna clasped her hands. I was surprised too. I feel the effect of his drumming is no less than sertraline. The doctor smiled. Have you thought about making friends with him? Luna fell silent. No. Her eyelids drooped slightly, mocking herself. I've been observing in secret this whole time. Besides, I'm not suitable for making friends. I'll bring my negative emotions to him. The doctor shook his head. No, your situation is very suitable. You have a strong interest in him. Increasing activities and social interaction on this basis is more beneficial to your recovery. Don't worry, don't be afraid to go out. Taking this step, you will find that what awaits you is just the natural next step, not the thorny jungle you fear. The outside world isn't scary. Just open yourself up and make friends with sincere thoughts. I believe he would be very willing to know an excellent and beautiful girl like you. Is that really so? Luna went home half believing and curled back up in bed. After tossing and turning until 3 p.m., she came out of the bedroom, walked onto the balcony, and looked again at the 2 windows directly facing her. Suddenly, the curtain on the right was pulled open, and a tall figure appeared in the center. Luna's heart trembled, and she quickly crouched down, hiding behind the wall. A moment later, she peeked out half ahead. The person was gone from the window, leaving only an empty room visible. The room was monotonously furnished, seemingly containing only a bed, surrounded by 4 white walls, like an isolation ward. Luna slowly let out a breath, straightened up, stretched her arms, and expanded her chest, pretending to get fresh air, but actually peeking at the other window. He didn't walk to the living room or kitchen. It seemed his practice room was in a place she couldn't see. Luna put her hand on the railing, feeling a bit regretful, but she thought, looking from afar, listening from afar was also good. It was a highlight and a small joy in her empty life. Just then, a muffled thump, like spring thunder tearing open the sky, brought fierce drum beats pouring down. It was a style mixing destruction and rebirth. He was drumming early today. The arrogance and insolence in the rhythm seemed to soak into the body, making adrenaline soar. Luna's eyes widened slightly, and without exception, she broke out in goosebumps. He played for a long time today, and his loyal listener Luna also lay on the balcony railing for a long time, nodding to the beat, her fingers moving like a crazy pianist. When the clouds in the distance looked like spilled orange soda, the almost continuous drumming suddenly stopped. Luna's small movements ceased along with it. She looked towards his kitchen position. The sunset painted that window in tea-time hues. Shortly after, the man appeared in her field of vision, then turned sideways and stopped. Luna narrowed her eyes, judging that he should be taking something from a cabinet or the refrigerator. Finally, he stood behind the counter, probably preparing dinner. Too bad it was too far. Luna's heart sank slightly, then she was pushed by a strange but rapidly expanding thought. She began to weigh whether to continue that heinous behavior. This was the first time she had seen him stay in the kitchen for so long. Luna stared intently at that spot, almost tortured to dizziness by conflicting thoughts. In the end, longing defeated hesitation. She emphasized to herself, just one look, just to check what he's eating for dinner tonight. That's all. Luna walked quickly back to her room, took out the binoculars, rushed back to her little base in the living room, chose the angle, and raised the binoculars. 2 minutes later, the corners of Luna's lips lifted slightly. The man cracked 2 eggs into a bowl with one hand, his movements agile. Then he held chopsticks to beat the eggs, but halfway through, he suddenly stopped and put the bowl back on the counter. As if on a whim, he held a wooden chopstick in each hand, treating them as drumsticks, and began to beat chaotically on every reachable object around him. The kitchen transformed into a practice room. Pots, bowls, pans all became his drum kit. Restless, enthusiastic, coherent, skilled, he entered a state of self-immersion. A place filled with the smell of mundane cooking oil burned with a commanding aura under his hands. Even though she couldn't hear any sound, Luna had already dubbed it in her mind with his usual high-intensity rhythms. His left hand suddenly twirled the stick, caught it lightly and steadily, and continued to beat. Wow. Luna freed a hand to cover her lips, almost gasping in admiration. The process of self-entertainment was short, perhaps less than 2 minutes, but the silent resonance within it moved Luna to tears. How can someone love what they love so much? The stage is everywhere, just like she used to be. Yes, she was like that once. She used to dance on tiptoe in the kitchen while waiting for rice to heat up, spinning 6 consecutive fouettes to the ding of the microwave. Luna's heart trembled violently, and the hand holding the binoculars slowly dropped. In this second, she made up her mind. Regardless of whether the natural next step or the terrifying thorny jungle awaited her, she was going to know him. For several consecutive nights, Luna had trouble sleeping. But the state was different from before. It wasn't about zoning out or sorrow, but racking her brains thinking about how to meet the man in the opposite building. Depression and medication had made her thinking sluggish. Aside from manufacturing a chance encounter or using that as an excuse to strike up a conversation, she couldn't think of a better way. At the same time, the frequency of Luna observing Peeping at him increased day by day. Morning, noon, night because she needed to confirm when he went out so she could urgently deploy and strike appropriately. Mrs. Miller lived under the same roof and naturally couldn't ignore her excessive concern for this drum sound and the drummer. One day at the dinner table, she couldn't help mentioning, "I was chatting with Grandma Zhang at the entrance of the opposite building this morning and ran into that young man who plays the drums." Luna, who was quietly picking at her food, raised her eyebrows to look at her, eyes bright. Mrs. Miller continued, wearing a hat, tall and thin. "He walked too fast, so I didn't see clearly what he looked like. But listening to Grandma Zhang, it seems he was complained about by someone in the same building. Property management visited him just yesterday." Luna frowned, not understanding. He didn't drum during quiet hours. Why would he be complained about? Mrs. Miller sighed. Not everyone likes that kind of sound. Luna fought the injustice. "I didn't see anyone complaining about the few people nearby practicing piano." Mrs. Miller said, "That's different." Luna's tone carried a hint of indignation. "How is it different?" Mrs. Miller was quiet for a few seconds. "Piano sounds more elegant." Luna lowered her eyes and poked at her rice with the tip of her chopsticks. "I don't think instruments should be ranked high or low." After lunch, Luna returned to her room, anxious for several hours, worried that she would never hear her daily cardiac stimulant again. But at 4 p.m., the familiar drum sound shattered the boring and dull evening again, bringing it back to life. She ran out of the bedroom happily, rushing to the balcony, becoming a die-hard fan arriving right on time. The man's state was completely unaffected. The drum beats were as unscrupulous as always, dense words carved into the air in wild cursive, writing a high, burning declaration of war. Luna rested her chin on one hand, smiling slightly, feeling her worry was truly superfluous. After the drumming stopped, he went to the living room again. Luna also busily returned behind the window and unfolded the binoculars. He was still in a black t-shirt today, his side profile sharp and steep, eyelids drooping indifferently, bangs a bit messy. He seemed to be going out. He casually took a black baseball cap from a hook by the door and put it on. The next moment, his face turned slightly towards her direction. The movement was small, but unexpected. Luna jumped, hugging her head and crouching low like she was dodging stray bullets. After squatting for a full minute, Luna suppressed her frantic heartbeat and slowly stood up. The entryway was empty. Has he gone out already? Luna guessed, pulled open the window, and leaned out to search downstairs. Moments later, Luna settled down because the man walked out of the building's entrance. At this time, there were many children chasing and playing downstairs, like colorful sugar granules rolling around, making him look out of place, like a sharpened black pencil. He was deliberately avoiding the crowd. However, a little boy in red clothes running backward rapidly while screaming at his companion bumped into his stomach. He stopped to steady the child. The boy was startled and looked up at him. He probably asked a couple of questions looking down. The little boy shook his head vigorously, quickly distanced himself, pulled his friend, and ran far away. He continued walking, looking increasingly hurried. Luna watched and unconsciously smiled. A moment later, she realized what was happening and turned back to the entryway. She pulled out a mask and put it on, dropping a sentence, "I'll be back in a bit," before rushing to the elevator lobby. Mrs. Miller's slightly delayed response was blocked behind the door. Luna jogged all the way into the elevator car, panting slightly, and pressed 1F. What was she doing? Luna's thoughts were chaotic. Because of an unthinking, impulsive act, was she tracking him or chasing him? What after catching up? Did she have anything planned to say? But soon, introspection turned into self-encouragement, self-convenience, and self-justification. Anyway, let it be natural, she soothed herself this way, clumping her hands into loose fists, walking out of the elevator, and proceeding on the inevitable path to the main gate of the complex. Luna's spur-of-the-moment hookup plan died halfway. She lost him. To be more precise, it was declared a failure from the stalking step. After going downstairs, she didn't see him again, still moved too slow. Luna returned home dejected, unable to taste even the aroma of the food. For the next few days, Luna tried every way to squat and watch his movements, waiting for an opportunity. But this person went out very rarely, had long legs, and walked very fast. Even if there was a chance, dreaming of keeping up with his pace was impossible. But it wasn't fruitless. Luna took the opportunity to figure out the frequency of his outings. He was mysterious, like a solitary ascetic warlock, only going out on cloudy and rainy days or after the sun went down. His purposes were mostly purchasing items or picking up deliveries. Since this road was blocked, Luna found a new path. Abandoning waiting at home, she switched to going downstairs to relax for an hour or two at the times he usually went out. Her activity area was basically a circle with his building as the center, radiating outward in a small range, wandering round and round. This lasted for a week. Luna still only heard his sound, but never saw the person. Her diary was filled with her daily failed attempts at making friends. After drawing a period and closing the pages, Luna rubbed her forehead helplessly. So much for hard work pays off, and wearing out-iron shoes to find something. Before going to sleep, Luna took her sleeping pills and took out a wishing coin she had received during a tour years ago from the drawer of the bedside table. She prayed inwardly, "Please let me talk to him tomorrow. Heads, I can see him. Tails, I won't see him. Please give me heads." Immediately, she tossed it high, spinning it into mid-air, then slapped it back onto the back of her hand as it fell. She opened it. It showed the side with the star and moon magic circle. Heads. Luna's heart lifted instantly, and she pursed her lips in a surprised smile. Getting the ideal result, she felt much more at ease and had a dreamless night. The weather the next day wasn't good. The sky had a gloomy gray face, looking down at the world heavily. But Luna's mood was bright with expectation. Around 10 o'clock, Mrs. Miller, who was marinating chicken wings in the kitchen, suddenly called her. "Luna, are you going out today?" Luna glanced sideways from the sofa. "I am, Mrs." Miller walked up to her holding a soy sauce bottle. "We're out of light soy sauce at home. I meant to buy it this morning but forgot. If it's convenient for you when you go out, could you bring a bottle back for me?" Luna nodded. "I'll go buy it right now," Mrs. Miller said. "No rush. I see there's still some at the bottom of the bottle. It's enough for lunch." Luna got up and walked toward the entryway. "I have nothing to do right now anyway." Walking out of the stairwell, Luna jogged slowly toward the convenience store at the gate of the complex. She specially wore a pair of light sneakers. Thanks to the recent secret, chase scenes, Luna felt her limbs were lighter, no longer heavy or burdensome. Walking into the convenience store, the cashier behind the counter looked at her with a smile. Luna asked, "Where is the light soy sauce?" The cashier pointed to a location. Luna nodded slightly, said thanks, and walked to the aisle she indicated. She stopped in the neatly arranged seasoning section, recalling the soy sauce brand Mrs. Miller had just mentioned, her gaze scanning the many bottles quickly. Luna locked onto it quickly, took one down, thought for a moment, then took another one. Like holding dumbbells, one in each hand, she walked to the checkout counter. Just as she was about to walk out of the narrow aisle, a tall, thin man passed by directly in front of her, holding a shopping basket in hand. Black hat, black t-shirt, unhurried. Like pressing a pause button, Luna froze in place. It was him. Seeing him directly, he was younger and more defined than through the lens, from head to toe. From the side, he had a very youthful slightness, but his gait was casual, a nonchalance of one who has seen it all. Thump, 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 thump. Luna didn't blink. The surroundings blurred, and all sounds faded. Only her heart was being drummed wildly, her thoughts like boiling water. The person she had been watching from afar actually appeared before her eyes just like that. She guessed last night's wishing coin might really have been divine guidance. Standing in line to pay in front of him was a family of 3. The child was making a ruckus, pointing at the lollipops on the counter, clamoring for one. He clearly rejected crowds. The gap separating him from them was wide enough to fit another family. Luna stood behind the shelf, peeking out slightly, observing him carefully. At the same time, her mind raced with 1,000 turns, ups and downs, pondering how to go up and strike up a conversation. The family didn't buy much. Before long, they bagged their items and walked toward the store entrance. It was his turn. The man lowered his head and took the items out of the shopping basket one by one. From this distance, she could see his slightly drooping eyelashes not curled, but straight and long. The cashier had already started scanning and looked up to ask if he needed a bag. He hummed a low response. Luna's heartbeat grew even more violent, and her brain approached crashing amidst the monotonous beeping sounds. She took a deep breath and walked quickly behind him. He was very thin, his shoulder blades distinct, faintly visible through the loose black t-shirt. But he was quite tall. Looking at him from close range required looking up, so he didn't appear frail. Luna stopped there, watching his right hand tapping boredly on the edge of the counter fast then slow, a natural sense of rhythm. His slender fingers looked extremely powerful, accentuated by clearly defined knuckles. The last bottle of mineral water was placed aside by the cashier. He took it and methodically stuffed everything into the plastic bag. Suddenly, his hand paused. He took down the orange lollipop the child had unsuccessfully asked for earlier and handed it to the cashier. "Ring this up too." His voice had texture as well, like the low notes of a cello. Luna had been nearly suffocating, but this slightly childish gesture instantly reduced her nervousness. She curled her lips quietly. With this interruption, inspiration struck. She hurriedly placed the 2 bottles of soy sauce on the counter, took out her phone, and turned off the 5G network. Taking advantage of the cashier lowering her head to scan the lollipop, Luna lowered her phone and called out awkwardly, "Hey, could I trouble you?" The man standing sideways turned his head. His features, pressing close so genuinely, instantly choked Luna's pretense back into her throat. Direct eye contact. His face was so sharp it felt like it cut into her senses. Under the brim of his hat, the man's eyes were pitch black and deep. Luna swallowed slightly, her movements and expression inevitably becoming stiff. She feigned composure and raised her phone. "I just realized my phone service is cut off. Could I borrow a hotspot to pay?" People really can unleash infinite potential under high pressure. She could even come up with such a seamless excuse. The man looked at her hand, shifted his gaze to the 2 twin soy sauces standing side by side, then lifted his face and said to the cashier, "Count these 2 bottles of soy sauce together too." The cashier paused, then did as he said. After scanning, she asked, "Put them in the bag together?" "No need." "No," both replied at the same time. Luna tilted her head to look at him, while he still only gave her a near-perfect side profile. The cashier smiled and agreed, glancing at the two of them, revealing the watching a drama expression middle-aged people often have toward young couples. The man pulled up his payment QR code. After paying, he picked up the shopping bag and started to walk away. The development deviated from expectations. Luna secretly took a breath, hurriedly grabbed the soy sauce, and ran to his side to thank him. "Thank you," she added. "Why don't we exchange contact info, so I can?" The man glanced at her and said while walking, "No need to pay it back." Luna lost her voice for a moment, unable to squeeze out a single word. Her brain in disarray, she could only follow him closely out of the convenience store. The dome of the sky was still gloomy gray, exactly like her frustrated mood at this moment. Luna sighed very lightly, looking at his back, not knowing what to do. The sliding door closed behind them. The man in front walked a few steps, then stopped abruptly. Luna was slightly startled and stopped too. He turned around, looking like he had something to say. "By the way?" Luna looked confused. His tone was calm, not a warning, but definitely not a joke. "Stop looking at me with binoculars." Luna froze, completely choked up. Embarrassment instantly drowned her brain. She stared at him in shame and fear, her pupils shining like glass beads. The man also looked at her, seeming to wait for her response and explanation. A few seconds passed. The wind blew, but there were no human voices. His patience ran out. He turned his head and continued walking into the complex. Luna rushed forward, not planning to argue, just wanting to wash away her previous sneaky crimes. I can apologize." He stopped again, looking at her, cold as before. Luna's face was flushed red. "I'm sorry." His brow furrowed very quickly. He asked like an interrogation, "Why watch me?" Luna's lips were pressed white. It took a moment before she opened her mouth to speak. "I really like your drumming. I was curious about the drummer. Later, I heard you lived in the building opposite, so I wanted to see what someone who could play drums like that looked like. But it was too far away. I couldn't resist using binoculars." She took a deep breath. "I definitely won't do it again." The man's long eyelashes lowered and lifted. His expression had nothing to do with friendliness from start to finish. "You know that's illegal, right?" "I know. I just wanted to see when you went downstairs, wanted to run into you." Luna avoided his gaze, still expressing apology. "I'm sorry. I know this is very dark and shameful. I won't do it anymore." Saying this, she emphasized her tone, swearing solemnly, "I promise." Lies come easy, but the truth always takes painstaking effort. A dizziness like low blood sugar attacked. The flush on Luna's face faded completely, her complexion turning pale, cold sweat running down her back. The man gazed at her, lifting the shopping bag in his hand slightly. "Today too," Luna said, "today was an accident." However, she changed the subject, her eyelids fluttering as she took out her phone. "I lied just now. My service isn't cut off. It was to strike up a conversation with you." The corners of the man's lips suddenly hung with a hint of ambiguous smiling intent, but this didn't warm his expression. Luna stared intently, the trembling light in her eyes looking guilty but honest. "All right," finally, he revealed a look of being too lazy to haggle and warned again, "Don't let me catch you again." Luna's arms stuck to her body as if filled with lead. She nodded. Then she said, "I should still pay you back. After paying back, you can delete me." The man was a bit impatient. "I said no need." Luna didn't want to owe anything, completely unaware of her own relentlessness. "Then I'll get cash when I get home and deliver it downstairs to you." He paused, then shoved his hand into his pocket and took out his phone. His thumb tapped rapidly on the screen a few times, then he held the QR code horizontally in front of her. "Add it." Luna glanced at him in surprise, without hesitation, opening the app. The top of the list warned current network unavailable. She rushed to switch out and turn on the data. "Wait a moment." That scalp-tingling low voice came from the side, slightly teasing, "Need to borrow a hotspot?" Luna froze and shook her head. "No need." Scanning the QR code, she saw his ID, Ethan Wright or simply Ethan. It was distinct, hard to tell if it was a screen name or real name. Luna asked subconsciously, "Is your name Ethan?" The man didn't answer. Luna lifted her eyes and saw him looking at her with thin lips tight. Luna held her breath slightly, just asking casually. Although she successfully added the man from the opposite building on the messaging app, Luna felt no joy of harvest. After returning home, she gave the soy sauce to Mrs. Miller and returned to her bedroom unhappily. Lying across the bed, she held her phone high and visited Ethan's profile. It turned out there was no content. He had set his posts to be visible for only 3 days. Luna had to back out and straightforwardly transferred the money for the 2 bottles of soy sauce to him, accurate to the last cent. She also composed a concise message to say thanks. Her creepy behavior had been exposed on the spot, causing her to stumble on the first step of making friends. Divine guidance turned out not to be divine guidance, but a fated ending. She shouldn't think about having any contact with him for the rest of her life. Sure enough, she couldn't do anything right. Self-loathing surged into her heart like a black dog, barking at her in dissatisfaction. Momentarily, it lay down again, turning into an ugly rag, lingering, giving up on herself. Tears welled up in Luna's eyes. She rubbed her hair ruthlessly with both hands, got out of bed, took the binoculars out of the dresser drawer, thump, and threw them into the trash can along with the dust bag. Curling back up at the head of the bed, Luna opened the app again. She found that her transfer had been accepted, but apart from that, there was no text message. Luna exhaled slowly, staring at the empty interface in a daze. Mrs. Miller knocked on the door to call her out for lunch. She didn't make a sound. A few minutes later, she clicked into Ethan's feed again. It was still visible for 3 days, clean and empty. Wait a second, Luna pulled herself out of her melancholy, doubt rising in her heart. He didn't delete her. Luna went in and out 3 times to confirm this fact. She straightened her back, stretched her legs, and summoned the courage to send him a second message. You seem to have forgotten to delete me. 2 minutes later, the opposite side replied, Oh, deleting now? Luna. She was stunned, wanted to make him stay, but was too embarrassed. Finally, she poked open his profile again for her final judgment and acceptance of fate. Luna froze. What was left for her wasn't the cold, gray dividing line, but the somewhat human, visible for 3 days, still standing there. A roller coaster ride. Just in case it was system lag, Luna went back to the chat box and carefully typed 3 words to confirm. No rejection, no friend deleted notification. Luna covered her lips, smiling in surprise. At the same moment, Ethan, taking ice water out of the fridge, weighed his phone again, looking at the message that popped up, the corners of his mouth hooking slightly. Thinking for a moment, he replied with 3 words too. Moon pie, thank you. Ethan, you're welcome. About half a month ago, Ethan noticed someone in the opposite building was peeping at him. Due to his personality and years of being on stage, his sensitivity to gazes was very high. Even from a distance, he would subconsciously judge where a gaze came from and what purpose and emotion it carried. At first, he guessed she had mental issues because looking around, in the whole building, only her apartment windows had a semi-enclosed structure. Whenever there was peeping behavior, she would hide behind the living room window, thinking it was foolproof, but actually it was self-deception. Ethan originally planned to deal with it by turning a blind eye, but she pushed her luck, squatting and tailing him, which was heinous. Later, he deliberately increased the frequency of going out, taking detours to spy back, thereby confirming her face and identity. Looking at her dress and posture, it really was the same person. A perfectly good girl, why do such things? Ethan couldn't understand. This confusion lasted until today, running into her at the convenience store. Glancing sideways for an instant, he was slightly surprised but didn't show a bit of it. Confusion and repulsion grew together, leading him to ask straightforwardly, leaving no room for dignity. While beauty fuels sin, it can also breed pity. Contacting her at such close range, her behavior and expression didn't look like someone with serious mental problems. On the contrary, she could articulate accurately. Her strong interest in him sounded careful and sincere coming from her mouth, unrelated to harassment, unrelated to being a fangirl. The annoyance weakened, turning into this seems kinda interesting, so Ethan didn't delete her immediately. But by the afternoon, he regretted it. Waking up from a nap, he received her message again. Are you there? Are you there? One of Ethan's most hated opening lines, implying that trivial nonsense was about to unfold. He turned off the screen, left the phone in the bedroom, and went to the practice room. The fixed drum sound also meant the man's disguised reply, I saw your message, I'm here, just don't want to deal with you. Luna leaned back against the headboard in annoyance. How on earth should she contact Ethan to gain his favor? Because she had dedicated herself to dancing since childhood, Luna didn't have much experience interacting with the opposite sex. Occasionally there were interactions, but they were all initiated by the other party, passively accepted by her, then politely refused. Let alone with a cold-faced type like Ethan, who looked like he kept people 1,000 miles away. She could only ask her psychologist for help. After editing the message, Luna sent it. Dr. Turner's reply was very fast. Interact with him just like you used to with friends. You can ask him out for a meal or something. Especially since he lives alone, young people don't have guaranteed regular meals. But pay attention to safety, go to crowded places. Luna said, but I feel like he most likely won't agree. Dr. Turner said, no harm in trying. Luna thought for a moment, agreeing, seems so. Enduring until 6 p.m., Luna pursed her lips, held up her phone with both hands, and following the doctor's suggestion, sent him the third greeting after adding him as a friend. Have you had dinner yet? This time there was an echo, one word, no, one word, at least it was a word. Luna's chest swelled slightly, I haven't eaten either, no more reply. Luna's mood sank. Embarrassed to bother Dr. Turner again, she took a screenshot and sent it to her friend. I want to get to know a guy. Take a look at this chat log for me. Why is he ignoring me again? Friend's tone was despairing. You are a naturally gifted awkward chatter. Luna, afraid she was fragile, the friend changed the subject. Which heartless guy is making our beautiful Luna suffer like this? Luna explained everything. I don't feel wronged, just don't know how to act. Friend heard this. He's such a homebody, means he's introverted. Order him takeout to show concern. Asking for a date right after adding as a friend is too fast, easy to scare the other party away. Luna agreed again, decisively ordering Korean food from a place with a good reputation and short delivery time, filling in Ethan's address. Then she waited anxiously in her room for news, occasionally checking the delivery driver's location on the ordering app. 40 minutes later, the doorbell at home rang instead. Mrs. Miller called her to go out, asking if she had ordered takeout. Luna put on her slippers and walked out the door, seeing the slightly out-of-breath delivery driver standing at the door. He handed the paper food bag in, grinning. The guy in the building behind you said the address was wrong. He ordered it for you and asked me to bring it over. Beside her, Mrs. Miller revealed an incomparably amazed expression of gossip. Luna's face turned red. She hurriedly took it, said thanks, and fled back to the bedroom at flying speed. After staring at the cartoon character on the paper bag for a few seconds, she reacted, picked up the phone beside her, and clicked into Ethan's feed for the nth time. The calming talisman, visible for 3 days, was still there. Luna breathed a sigh of relief. She leaned forward, pulled the curtain open a crack, and investigated the outside world. The dark night had swallowed the setting sun. The light was on in the bedroom opposite, gazing at her location from afar. Only the curtains were tightly closed, no figure was visible. Luna propped her chin up, sighing in depression. Why is he so invulnerable to everything? Repeated defeats brought a complete sense of smashing the broken pot, recklessness. She closed her eyes and sent the 5th message in a death struggle. If you don't want takeout, can I take you out to eat? When he received this message, Ethan's heart was piled with incomprehensible emotions, even a bit of admiration. Just in those few seconds of his speechless silence, the "Are you still there?" that made one's temper rise visited his chat interface again. Also from the woman in the opposite building. Ethan pressed his lips together for a moment, put back the drumsticks he had wiped for a round, and typed back 4 words. Come downstairs now. Come downstairs now? Real or fake? Staring at these 4 words, Luna was just short of pinching her cheek to confirm if she was still dreaming. The change came too suddenly, making it hard to believe. Amidst the astonishment, she revealed a smile. Breaking precedent, she applied lip balm before going out. She hadn't cared about her appearance like this for a long time. Washing her face every day had been a strenuous task. Mrs. Miller reminded her to come home early and send her a message every half hour. Luna nodded in agreement, tucked her keys and phone, and went downstairs. Just walking out of the flower garden path, she saw the man standing tall not far away. He looked the same as during the day. The only difference was that he wasn't wearing a baseball cap. Because his skin was fair, his whole face was still distinct in the twilight, carved very concretely by light and shadow. His posture was loose. When he looked over, it didn't look like a welcome, more like a distracted glance. Flowers and grass swayed. Luna's heart rate sped up slightly as she walked toward him. When she stopped in front of him, her breathing was messy. "You were waiting for me?" He didn't take up the comment, only asking, "Where to?" Luna said. "Haven't thought of it yet." He fell silent again. Luna choked herself for 2 seconds, then suggested, "Let's figure it out while walking." He nodded. Two people who weren't even rare, stake familiar suddenly meeting for dinner, awkwardness was inevitable. Walking silently side by side for a moment, Luna was afraid of silence from start to finish and actively found topics. "When did you move here?" Ethan replied. "Last month." Luna, "Right, I know." Ethan. Luna continued, "I came last year. Have lived here for 6 months." Ethan hummed and so low it was almost inaudible. Luna was nervous without realizing it and started a census. "How old are you?" Ethan paused for a second. 24. Luna was surprised. "Me too." Ethan glanced at her then, but still didn't chime in. Luna chattered on asking some questions. Ethan mostly ignored them, and occasional responses were perfunctory and scribbled. Even half a sentence was too much. His attitude toward her was self-evident. As if thick glue was pulling at the soles of her shoes on the ground, Luna's steps became heavier and heavier. Her voice, which was originally bright, was covered by wildly growing discouragement and self-pity, gradually becoming obscure and unclear. Finally, she stopped. Ethan noticed and turned back to ask, "Why did you stop talking?" Luna lowered her eyes. A moment later, she looked up to face him directly. "You don't want to listen, what's the point of me talking?" Ethan felt a smile float in his heart looking at her. "You don't seem to know how to interact with the opposite sex very well." Luna's gaze didn't deviate. "Do you? If you do, you can teach me." Her tone wasn't about asking for advice, it was more like provocation. Ethan was a bit stumped by the question. He chose to avoid talking about it and changed the subject. "Continue," Luna was dazed. "Continue what?" Ethan said. "The topic just now." Luna said, "I forgot." Ethan was quiet for 2 seconds, repeating the original sentence. "You asked me what I like to eat." Luna seemed to be waiting for this. "So you were listening the whole time, why didn't you speak?" Ethan replied, "Didn't know what to say." Luna was still straightforward. "Isn't it tiring for one person to talk? If you don't want to eat, you didn't have to agree. If you don't want to have anything to do with me, you can also delete me." Ethan had nothing to say in reply. Confronting her for a few seconds, he said lukewarmly, "We'll delete after mooching this meal." After speaking, he turned his head and walked even faster than before, as if to shake her off. How can someone who plays drums like that be such a jerk? Luna gritted her teeth, face red. Standing in the night wind for a few seconds, she chased after him unconvinced. Her tone of certainty sounded like a demonstration. "You're the one who doesn't know how to interact with the opposite sex." The man in front stopped abruptly. A car passed by, unethically using high beams, exceptionally dazzling, blurring his silhouette into unclarity. Luna narrowed her eyes. When her vision cleared again, the man had walked back, stopping very close. Staring at her for a moment, he smiled very faintly, then lifted his chin, gesturing to the high rise behind her. "My way of interacting with the opposite sex is taking them home." "You coming?" Luna locked eyes with Ethan, saying nothing. Her chin muscle tightened like a small walnut for a few seconds, then relaxed. "Sure, let's turn back." Since it was already like this, if he didn't mind destroying his own image, what harm was there in her burning her bridges? Ultimately, she couldn't believe it. Appearance stems from the heart, the voice is like the person. If he really was an idle loafer, how could he beat out such spirited, moving rhythms? Emotions hit rock bottom and rebounded. Luna decided to make a final probe and struggle. Ethan thought she would leave in shame and anger. Unexpectedly, the girl's gaze calmed down after a brief tremor. As if quickly changing strategy after suffering a blow to the gut, she put on solid armor to engage the enemy a second time. Commendable courage. Ethan tilted his head slightly. Just as he was about to open his mouth to say a few more jerk words, Luna spoke up faster than him. "How about coming to my place?" Ethan was stunned. "Isn't there anyone else at your place?" Luna said. "There's also a housekeeper." Ethan smiled coldly and absurdly. "Then what am I going over for?" Luna stared unblinkingly. "To eat. She cooks pretty well." Ethan frowned, not beating around the bush with her. "Are you truly naive or fake naive?" Luna pressed her lips into a flat line. It took a while before she said, "Fake it till you make it." Ethan was amused. A laugh breaking his composure, real and open, making him look extremely boyish, like the return of spring, like snow clearing after a storm. But he didn't answer immediately. Luna urged, her words filled with hidden barbs, "Why aren't you talking? Scared?" Ethan composed himself, his long eyelashes casting two thin shadows. "Let's go then." Mrs. Miller welcomed Luna and the strange man she brought back with flabbergasted eyes. She found a pair of new slippers, asking in a low, curious voice who this was. Luna was concise. "The drummer." Mrs. Miller was shocked to speechlessness. This little girl usually didn't move or speak, but when she made a move, the efficiency was amazing. Bringing someone home so soon. Ethan raised his eyebrows slightly, non-committal about this perfunctory introduction. The girl's home had typical American decor, complex wallpaper, carved wooden tables, metal pendant lights like hanging warm flower buds. The style he hated most. Ethan frowned uncomfortably and followed her in. Mrs. Miller was amiable. "Young man, what should I call you?" Luna turned her head, taking the opportunity. "Asking you, what's your name, Mrs. Miller?" Ethan said, "Ethan Wright." Luna was surprised. "You're really called Ethan?" "Ethan." Otherwise, seeing a tendency for them to bicker for no reason, Mrs. Miller hurriedly led the conversation elsewhere. "Ethan, have you had dinner?" Luna turned back. "He's here to mooch a meal." Ethan said, "Didn't you insist on inviting me?" Luna didn't deny it. "Oh, make yourself at home." Mrs. Miller stayed silent, tentatively regarding it as young lovers flirting. Luna went to the bathroom to wash her face and remove makeup. Ethan didn't look around or touch things randomly, just walking to the living room window. This room was dominated by floral patterns, visually cluttered, but at least the style was unified. The only unreasonable existence was the densely distributed silver gray bars outside the floor-to-ceiling window, like a locked garden. It looked like it was installed later, and there were no fearless, active children in the house, so there was only one reason. Ethan's mood became complicated. At this time, Luna had walked back to the living room. Seeing Ethan standing with his back to her behind the window, like inspecting a crime scene, her face involuntarily flushed with heat, and she called out loudly. "Dinner's ready." Ethan turned around. A face hard to lose in a crowd brought fresh amazement every time it was seen. Mrs. Miller lifted the lid, and the aroma of home-cooked food instantly filled the room. She arranged 2 pairs of chopsticks neatly, calling out similarly, "Yes, come eat. It's getting late, you must be starving." Ethan took a seat, said thanks, glanced at the rice bowl, and stopped talking. Mrs. Miller knew at a glance and advised with an elder's tone, "You're too thin, eat more." Opposite him, Luna looked up, glimpsing the rice piled like a snowy hill or white tower in front of him, and couldn't help laughing out loud. Ethan also lifted his eyelids, his gaze cold and sharp. Luna casually picked up food, chiming in, "Yeah, don't be polite." Ethan picked up his chopsticks, shoveled away a large chunk of the rice peak, put it in his mouth, and chewed slowly. Mrs. Miller also sat at the table, but she didn't want to disturb, so she ate very quickly, finished the soup in a few gulps, and went to her room to make space for the 2 young people. "How does it taste?" Witnessing Ethan's rice mountain being razed to the ground, Luna asked. Ethan replied, "It's all right." Luna said, "Not a loss, right?" Ethan looked at her. "What's not a loss?" Luna held her spoon. "Coming to my house to eat isn't a loss." Ethan said, "Can 2 things be compared together?" Luna nodded. "Sure. Good food can also reward us with dopamine, a sense of satisfaction." "Also," she said again, "why did you lie?" Ethan paused his chopsticks. "Who did I lie to?" Luna said. "You aren't the kind of person you said you were at all. Since moving here, you haven't brought a girl home." Ethan humphed, getting familiar with the environment first. "Didn't someone take the bait?" Luna looked suspicious. "And ended up in this person's pond?" Ethan had nothing to say. Luna said, "If you really are like you said, then you are a male bodhisattva living in the world, so handsome yet charitable." Ethan, unreasonable, strange brain circuits. He lowered his head to eat, not responding anymore. Luna stared at him for a moment, asking hesitantly, "Is drumming your hobby, or are you a professional drummer?" Ethan paused, his voice cold. "Don't want to answer." Luna said, "What's wrong with asking?" Ethan said, "I'm not that curious about you." Luna said, "You can be curious. I'll tell you the truth about everything." Ethan glanced at her. "I just hope you stop talking." Luna shrugged. That might be impossible. I haven't had such a strong desire to communicate in a long time. Ethan said, "Why am I not mute?" Hearing this, Luna curled her lips slightly. She continued to glance at him, noticing his hand holding the chopsticks pale, narrow, and long, with slight calluses. One day, Ethan didn't make a sound. Luna automatically assumed he was allowing her to continue speaking. "I saw you drumming with chopsticks in the kitchen. You even twirled them in the middle. It was very..." Click. Ethan created a sharp sound with two chopsticks, like a pair of scissors, cutting off all her words. Cool, Luna had OCD and had to complete it, even if inaudibly soft. And Ethan's face was calm. "That was the day I discovered the peeping Tom." Luna, fine, focus on eating. She chained her lips in her heart. After the meal, Ethan left alone. Before going downstairs, he rejected Luna's application to see the guest all the way out, and turned a deaf ear to her instruction to send a message when you get home. As soon as the door closed, Luna ran to the window, leaning out to look down. The man appeared on the walkway downstairs as expected. Tree shadows swayed. He was unhurried, like a stroke of a musical note swimming on the sheet music. A few minutes later, the window opposite lit up. His tiny figure appeared in the room, crossing the walkway without looking sideways, escaping her vision. Luna closed the window as if no one was around but didn't leave. Waiting for a while, the phone she was clutching made no sound. She lowered her eyes and asked actively, "Why didn't you tell me when you got home?" This time he replied, "Weren't you looking?" Luna said, "I didn't use binoculars." Naked eyes aren't allowed either? Ethan, any difference? Dealing with this topic led to a dead end. Luna devised another plan. "Are you full today?" Ethan didn't reply. Soon, he came to the bedroom. When walking to the window, his movement paused noticeably. She was still looking at him, and he saw her too, even though neither could see the other's expression clearly. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, swish, he pulled the curtains shut. The speed and force were written with annoyance from start to finish. Luna, however, curled up the corners of her mouth. She lowered her head and typed into the app, "You're still practicing drums tomorrow afternoon, right?" The chat box was quiet. Luna was undefeated. "I will listen on time." The other party was finally provoked out. "Nothing good to listen to." Luna said, "Then recommend a few drummers to me, one's about the same as you." Ethan, "None." Luna pursed her lips. "Then I, Luna, have no choice." Ethan adhered to the philosophy of negative socializing firmly, threw the phone on the bed, and went to take a shower. Coming out of the bathroom rubbing his wet hair, he returned to the bedroom, unlocked the phone, and found no expected latest quotes from the stalker girl in the app. After hitting the practice pad for 2 hours in the practice room, Ethan removed the metronome. The image of the house besieged by iron bars and the girl's seemingly carefree words and smiling face suddenly surfaced in his mind. He stretched out his long legs, leaning back vaguely, then opened the app, skillfully typed a few names into it, some foreigners, some Chinese, and sent it out. "These are all pretty good, you can listen." The reply from the other side came fast as the wind. "Moon pie. Are they the same as you?" Ethan didn't even think. "Better than me." Just as he was about to put the phone aside, it buzzed in his hand again with godlike speed. Ethan inhaled, held it back in front of his face, and glanced casually. He froze immediately. The girl quoted his earlier "none" reply to her and said, "But none of them are you." Ethan looked at this message, unconsciously touching the back of his neck. Who said this woman didn't know how to interact with the opposite sex? He's ignoring me. Before going to sleep, Luna reported the battle results to the psychologist again and asked for follow-up. Dr. Turner was always professional and responsive to the patients in his hands. "Is he completely ignoring you?" Luna said, "No, just somewhat lukewarm, but he came to my house for dinner today." Dr. Turner was surprised. "So fast?" Luna hugged her phone, recalling all the clips from tonight. "I feel he's a bit of a paper tiger." "Dr. Turner, how so?" Luna thought for a moment. "If not a paper tiger, then the kind of person with protective coloration." Dr. Turner replied with a smile, "Your observational skills and empathy have returned." Luna smiled slightly too, stating her follow-up plan. "I plan to invite him over for dinner again tomorrow." "Just like you said, he lives alone, no guarantee for his daily meals." Dr. Turner agreed. "I think that works." Thanks to Ethan, she rekindled hope for the matter of tomorrow. Her meridians were clear, limbs relaxed. It was no longer day after day suffering and rusting. Luna pursed her lips, switched out, and sent Ethan the last message of the day. It was the self-introduction she had almost forgotten. She didn't care if he wanted to know or not. She was going to stuff it to him anyway to deepen the impression. My name is Luna Gardner. The Luna is from the moon. Remember to save my name. Added, no need to reply, good night. As the first light of dawn appeared the next day, Luna woke up early and unsurprisingly harvested an empty chat box. Perhaps she was already immune, or seeing through the phenomenon to the essence, she wasn't annoyed at all. As long as the red exclamation mark didn't appear, it was all leeway he left for her. One hand holding a book, the other dragging a stool, Luna came to the window, killing time with reading, waiting for noon. At 11:30, Luna returned to the kitchen, took photos of several dishes Mrs. Miller prepared today, and sent them all to Ethan. Do you want to come to my house for lunch? Don't look at how the man on the other side excelled at vanishing from the face of the earth. When rejecting, he wasn't soft-handed at all. Not going. Luna was calm. I asked Mrs. Miller to bring you food. Ethan said. Don't you think that's weird? Luna replied. Didn't see you thinking it was weird when you came last night. Ethan was choked by this sentence, then saw her additional statement that maxed out the rage meter. And you ate with relish. Ethan, he hit a steel plate of a straightforward girl, he was sure. Luna Gardner, real piece of work. He took a deep breath and went to the kitchen. What gave him a headache was that as soon as he walked to the sink, he saw Luna waving at him from opposite, with huge movements, hard not to notice. Ethan immediately lowered his head, pretending not to see. The phone by the counter vibrated again. Ethan immediately turned on the faucet, covering the magic sound with water sound. Helplessly, his peripheral vision couldn't ignore the messages popping non-stop on the screen. Moon pie. What are you eating? Moon pie, instant noodles. Moon pie, adding 2 eggs again. Moon pie, you aren't eating this again today, are you? Moon pie, don't think I don't know. She was uniquely gifted in drawing aggro. Ethan turned off the water in anger, picked up the phone directly with wet hands, and walked downstairs aggressively like holding a brick. Walking out of the stairwell, his overheated brain calmed down in the wind. He stood still, thinking forget it, go back, but soon he overthrew this thought, determined to speak clearly to that woman face to face and cut off contact right there. Ethan steadied his breath, face icy, walking toward the building in front. The next moment, in the warm sunlight, he saw someone coming toward him. Ethan stopped. She changed from slow walking to a trot, tone surprised. Are you coming to my house? Ethan asked subconsciously. Why did you come down? Luna panted. To pick you up. Her making a big fuss out of nothing left him speechless. Ethan sneered coldly. To intercept me, more like. Luna looked left and right, suspicious. Then why act like you are walking on the small path to my building? Ethan was silent for a second. Did this path have your name written on it? Luna fell silent, then spoke with hidden meaning. Since you accidentally strolled here, might as well come up and honor us with your presence for a simple meal. Ethan. Ethan wasn't clear why he sat at Luna's table again either. He only knew that her housekeeper looked at him with beaming eyes, like looking at a lamb that needed fattening up for slaughter. But when the food entered his mouth, he unwillingly admitted that he might be the one taking advantage. Unexpected disaster, purpose stranded. Ethan sighed. Just as he was about to take a second bite, Luna suddenly asked, Is the food cold? Ethan didn't care. It's fine. The next second, his left hand was empty. The chopsticks were forcibly snatched away by the girl opposite across the table. She stood there instructing the housekeeper. Mrs. Miller heated up first. Ethan's face stiffened for a few seconds, returning to normal. He waited silently, convinced his endurance had improved by leaps and bounds within 24 hours. And Luna, who sat down again, was humming a song very lightly, as if no one was around. Out of professional habit, Ethan identified it carefully. It was Girlfriend. The rhythm of this widely known punk song was extremely strong. The drum score in it was also one he had memorized and practiced. Ethan curled his fingers, trying his best to suppress the desire to tap along. Finally, he couldn't bear it anymore. Stop singing. Luna raised her eyes. What's wrong? Ethan said. Beat is wrong and off-key. Luna froze. Not Avril herself. Please don't have high requirements for me. Ethan stopped there. You're in a good mood, Luna nodded, eyes curved. Yeah, because you came to my house to eat. Ethan with a cold face. Are you always this direct when speaking? Luna pondered, giving an exact answer. It seems so. Ethan lifted his lips slightly, mocking. Single since birth? So what? Luna sat up straight. Is having a lot of dating experience something to brag about? Does it have to be ranked high or low? Ethan said. I didn't say that. Luna folded her arms, leaning forward. You've been roasting me since yesterday. Then tell me the key points of interacting with guys. Ethan said immediately, first is shut up. Second, maintain boundaries. Luna objected. Can't even speak straight? Then what's the meaning of this interaction? Ethan was silent, unable to refute her logic for a while. In the gap of speechless gazing, Mrs. Miller brought the heated food to the table. Luna returned the chopsticks. Enjoy your meal. Eating quietly for a while, Ethan suddenly looked up, continuing the topic just now, not so absolute anymore. At least don't keep texting me. Don't you feel you're disturbing the peace? Luna rested her face, presenting a reasonable excuse. You can treat me as a fan, caring about the idol. Ethan gestured with his eyes to the phone on the side. I don't add fans. Then why add her? Luna's mind stalled, inexplicably feeling heat rising. She straightened her neck. You already added me. Ethan weighed the phone in one hand, frowning. Delete now? Fine, Luna wilted. I'm not a fan now. Her appearance of being brilliant one moment and wilting the next was quite interesting. Ethan hooked his lips quietly, curious what new identity or trick she could come up with for herself. Then what are you? Luna didn't think twice, enunciating clearly. Your loyal listener. This isn't worse than a fan, right? She looked over with bright eyes, seemingly facing the light, yet seemingly about to burn him. Ethan paused slightly, looked away, threw the phone back with a thud, and spat out 2 words lukewarmly. Whatever. This guy Ethan seemed determined to practice the cold and heartless style to the end. After eating and wiping his mouth, he went home expressionlessly. His whole body wrote, don't want to stay a second longer. Luna stood aside, noticing his spine clearly printed on his back when he bowed. Are you coming for dinner tonight? Not coming. Ethan rejected while straightening up. Luna pouted in disappointment. All right. Ethan didn't look at her, detouring to walk out the door. Luna followed, saying quickly, looking forward to your performance this afternoon. Ethan's steps paused. Luna immediately squeezed out a fangirl face, smiling. Knock yourself out. Tell me if you get hungry from drumming, I'll bring you food. Ethan frowned. Goodbye. As soon as the door closed, Luna ran to the window again, leaning out to watch him go home. First time strangers, second time familiar. Luna was bolder today, daring to shout his name at him. Ethan lifted his face, and immediately what came into view was the girl's waving hand, like a rampant flag. He turned his face away, pretending not to see. After getting home, Ethan received her mental torture on the app again. Are you drumming at 4:30 this afternoon too? Ethan replied with one word. Dunno. After washing his face in the bathroom, Ethan returned to the bedroom. When passing the window, he subconsciously glanced at the opposite building. That guy was actually standing blatantly behind the window. Never ending, huh? He had to fix her. Ethan immediately raised his phone and took a picture of her clinging to the window, sent it, and added words, evidence. The opposite side was puzzled. What evidence? Ethan, evidence of you harassing me. The girl replied, how did I harass you? Ethan, how long have you been looking there? While sending, Ethan looked up and found Luna raising her phone high, not knowing what she was doing. A few seconds later, he got the answer. Moon pie, image moon pie, evidence. Ethan clicked it open. It was a picture of him from her perspective, forming a series with the one he sent her, different tunes played with equal skill. Ethan, unexpectedly, the girl started to sophistry. If you didn't look at me, how would you know I was looking at you? Can I also consider that you are harassing me? Ethan pulled the curtains shut quickly. Luna was used to his operation of self-isolation at the slightest disagreement. Lingering by the window for a moment to confirm the man wasn't using a stalling tactic, she turned and left, returning to her room's bed, continuing to demand an explanation. Moon pie, we've eaten at the same table twice, don't resist anymore. Can't we be friends? Ethan replied, don't need friends. Luna's apple cheeks shrugged slightly. Can't you open a tiny back door for me? Ethan. Image Luna opened it and found it was a screenshot confirming whether to delete contact, moon pie. Luna immediately bounced up from the pillow. Not asking anymore, I surrender. Is making a friend easy? Ethan, I thought you feared nothing in heaven or earth. Luna stopped attacking the enemy's den directly and took a flanking route, sincerely suggesting, "You can change my nickname to Loyal Listener. That way, chatting with me later might be more comfortable." Ethan said, too lazy to change. The chat interface quieted down. After a while, a new message popped up. "Ethan's Loyal Listener, then I can only do it myself." Ethan, don't you feel shame? Ethan's Loyal Listener. As long as I'm not ashamed, the one ashamed is you. Ethan conceded, reading between the lines a sense of gnashing teeth. Change it back. Moonpie, done, Ethan. I've really never seen a woman like you. Luna lay flat with relief, letting her lips and slim legs rise high. I've also never seen a man like you. We are each other's first time. Ethan obviously didn't want to continue this topic that had a tendency to cross the line. Nap time, Luna didn't bother him anymore. Oh, good afternoon. At 4 p.m., Luna squatted at the balcony ahead of time as usual, waiting happily and comfortably. Half an hour later, Ethan's drumming arrived as promised. It seemed his daily training wasn't avoided or delayed because of her existence. Thank goodness. Listening and listening, Luna's curved eyes gradually narrowed flat. Why did she feel today's rhythm sounded familiar? She hummed the melody silently in her heart to figure it out and distinguish it. To confirm her guess, as soon as the drumming opposite stopped, Luna took out her phone and searched for confirmation in the music app. After listening several times in a row, Luna couldn't wait a second to message Ethan. "The rhythm you played today is very familiar. What song's accompaniment is it?" Ethan replied, "Heard it." Luna wasn't very sure. "Girlfriend?" Ethan. This question mark looked a bit surprised, but he didn't deny the result. "It's this one." Luna associated it with the conversation during lunch. "Are you hinting at something?" Ethan. "Hinting that your noise at noon was too deeply rooted in people's hearts." Luna choked, consoling herself. "So you specially played this song for me? Spoiling the fan behavior, love it, love it." Ethan didn't reply again. Luna continued typing, tending to claim credit. "Do you know why I could hear it? I've been searching for drum kit information these past few days. I can recite the structure, various drums, various cymbals. I also found a lot of punk rock songs to listen to, listening to the drums in their accompaniment. I wouldn't pay attention to these before just because." Before finishing her little essay and sending it out, a message popped up from the other side. "You think everyone is as idle as you?" Luna's thumb froze. These few words seemed to carry extreme cold, spreading out from behind the hard screen, freezing her whole body from head to toe. Luna felt cold all over. A moment later, following the cursor, she blinked hard several times, suppressing the only warm moisture on her body right now, then tap deleted all the words in the input bar. Luna turned her head to look opposite. The curtains of Ethan's bedroom were still tightly closed. The cold gray fabric was like haze, like a shield, isolating everything from the world, especially her. She lowered her eyes again, admitting without a single argument, "I am very idle. I am the most worthless person in this world." The other party probably realized he had spoken too quickly and misspoken, replying, "I didn't mean that," but Luna lost any desire to talk. She ran back to the bedroom, staying from the orange sky until night covered everything. She didn't turn on the light, nor did she go out again. Later, Mrs. Miller asked her outside if Ethan was coming to eat. She only chimed in, "Not coming." Mrs. Miller asked again, "Are you not coming out to eat either?" Luna's tone was listless. "No appetite today." Mrs. Miller sighed in her heart and didn't force it. Just returning to the living room, the corridor doorbell suddenly rang. Mrs. Miller opened the monitor and saw it was the young man who played drums. She hurriedly let him in and cracked the house door open to make it convenient for him to enter. But when he really came upstairs, he didn't enter the door, nor did he look around, just looking straight at Mrs. Miller. "Where is Luna Gardner?" Mrs. Miller said, "Seems to be sleeping in the room. Hasn't come out till now. I'll go call her." Hearing this, the boy nodded lightly. Luna slept groggily, completely unaware of the movement outside. When Mrs. Miller's shout poked into her ears again, her patience dropped suddenly. "Said not eating," Mrs. Miller clarified the intention. "Ethan is here to see you." This name was like a start button. Luna sat up with a carp kip, fished out her phone to check the messages. Their chat broke off at his supplementary clarification. There was no new content. Luna smoothed her messy hair, opened the camera to rub her eyes clean, then got out of bed and walked out of the room, dodging a glance at the door. The moment four eyes met, whether it was blurred vision or an illusion, she felt his expression was slightly relaxed. Luna walked over slowly, stopped in front of him, questioning. "Didn't you say not coming for dinner?" Ethan's expression returned to usual coldness. "Would I not enter the door if coming for dinner?" Could it be just because she didn't reply to his message? So he killed his way to her house to find the person face to face. Luna had to frown tightly so as not to let herself leak the secret joy that would mostly likely be annoying. "Then why come?" Ethan raised his hand, thumb pointing behind him. "Let's go. Taking you to find something to do." "Now?" Luna blurted out, eyes widening and spilling with brilliance, sparkling like star particles. Ethan said, "It doesn't matter if you don't want to." "No," Luna shook her head. "I want to go." Ethan never liked dragging things out. "Let's go then." Luna covered her cheeks with both hands. "But I haven't put on makeup," touching her hair again. "Head hasn't been washed either, a bit oily." Ethan said, "I'll wait for you." "Better not put it on." Luna turned to glance at the bathroom direction. "I'll go wash my face and change clothes." Ethan nodded. Luna added an explanation for her lack of exquisiteness and grandeur. "Because I don't want to keep you waiting long, and no one will look at me at night anyway." Ethan nodded again. She reversed her attitude in his immutable reaction. "Can't you say something to comfort me? Is this the attitude for asking someone out, not up to standard at all?" Ethan frowned. "What do you want to hear?" "Luna. You are already very beautiful, no need to work so hard." Ethan pulled his lips, sarcastic. "I am already very beautiful, no need to work so hard." Hearing this, Luna laughed out loud. "Fine, close enough. With you as an ornament, walking together, others will also think this girl, am not simple." Praising obliquely while praising herself. Ethan conceded. "Go, stop stalling." Luna said oh and turned to leave. The girl got ready very quickly. Tying up a ponytail, changing into an apricot yellow dress, she walked out of the room. She wasn't the kind with lush beauty, but small head and small face, features balanced, distributed just right. Seeing her several times, all without makeup, pure and clear. The best was her posture. There was a sense of lightness when walking but not deliberate. A pair of legs straight and long. The visual was close to the little dragon maiden he saw on TV when he was young. She was undoubtedly outstanding. Otherwise, he wouldn't have identified her so quickly. However, appearance and inside differed. Graceful appearance, wretched inside, keen on peeping and tailing, first class in sexual harassment. When she walked up to him, eyes curved saying, "I'm ready." Ethan withdrew his scrutiny and analysis of Luna and walked out of the house with her. Outside, the night curtain closed in. Multiple jade white round lamps lit up in the flower beds on both sides, like road guides. Luna walked beside Ethan, looking relaxed. "Where are we going? How are we going?" Ethan glanced sideways, not answering the first question. "How do you want to go?" "Don't know," Luna looked back. "But last time I saw..." "Ethan..." Luna pointed to the east gate of the complex. "There are shared bikes at the gate." Ethan asked, "You want to ride?" Luna nodded. "Do you?" Ethan said, "I'm indifferent." He glanced at her outfit. "But your skirt, won't it be inconvenient?" Luna looked down at the hem past her knees. "This length is okay." Ethan said no more. Arriving at the gate, both scanned one. While Luna was still figuring out how to unlock, Ethan had already neatly dragged the bike out with one hand, steadied it, and walked to her side. The girl bent close to the QR code, vaguely reciting the steps, looking quite like a little old lady with presbyopia struggling to read a newspaper. Ethan watched with a hidden smile, pursing his lips, inquiring, "Need help?" Luna looked back and waved her hand. "No need," so Ethan stood there. "How long since you've been out?" "I haven't left the complex since moving here." Luna's tone was indifferent, then retorted, "Have you been out?" Ethan paused. "Seems not either." 2 minutes later, amidst the female voice prompt of successful unlocking, Luna pushed the bike out, straddled it, one foot on the ground, looking proud. "Isn't it done?" Ethan didn't comment, going to get his own. Traffic in the city at this time was congested. The slow traffic flow gathered like star points. The people inside the cars must be impatient, but the steel forest, where only the fittest survived during the day, became exceptionally tame because of this. The two sped one after another in the non-motorized lane. With trees of fire and flowers of silver, Ethan looked at Luna's back. In the wind, her skirt hem was inflated, like gentle half-spread butterfly wings. Luna also looked back at Ethan from time to time, showing him huge smiles. Her face was plain, black hair floating beside her face, excitedly calling him to look at some scene. Ethan mostly didn't respond, but his eyes would follow. After a while, human smoke reduced. Luna quietly slowed down pedal 3 times, stopped once until they walked side by side again. Luna took the opportunity to show off her specialty, hands off the bars for 5 seconds, spreading her arms, even making wow-wow sounds to attract his attention. Ethan looked sideways, losing the desire to evaluate her atavistic behavior. And when she gripped the handles back, she insisted on asking, "Amazing," Ethan said, "sounds like a female gorilla." Luna, "Please focus on my stunt, not the background noise." Curious again, "But where exactly are we going?" Ethan glanced straight ahead. "Right turn ahead and we're there." Luna absolutely didn't expect that he actually took her to a KTV. Following him into the small room, Luna had a suspicious face. "Lone man and lone woman, not very appropriate, right?" Ethan looked back. "Not the kind of thing you're hoping for." "Luna." He walked straight to the coffee table, picked up one of the microphones, and tossed it to her through the air. Luna caught it with both hands, standing there, not understanding the meaning. Ethan glanced at the song selection console beside him. "Sing," Luna suddenly realized. "So the finding something to do you talked about is bringing me to sing?" Ethan nodded. Luna tapped her palm lightly with the base of the microphone happily. "Not disliking my noise anymore?" Ethan said. "Listen to a few more songs and I'll get used to it." Luna tilted the corners of her mouth high, turned on the reverb, putting it to her mouth. "Oh, but this way I'll be embarrassed." "Wait." Ethan bent over, arranging the cups and plates on the table. Finally, he turned on the other microphone, propped it up with a horizontal drink menu, and set it in front of him. Then he stood up. "I'll help you find rhythm and musical sense. You just sing." Luna stared unblinkingly, watching him go out and come back, holding things in his hands. The man sat back on the sofa, hidden in the dark. Water-colored light flowed on his face. He was very white, like a siren in the coral depths, handsomely unmatched. His long leg hooked the trash can from the side, flipping it over with a turn, tapping it a few times along with the instruments on the table, testing sound effects and pitch. Metal chopsticks became magic wands in his hands. The whole private room was instantly wrapped in his barrier and aura. Luna's heart was about to squeeze out of her throat, unable to move for a time. Ethan raised his chin. "Go find songs you like, remove original vocals, lower accompaniment volume." Luna didn't move, only asked, "I still want to sing that one from Daytime, can I?" Ethan said, "Can." Luna adjusted the mode, cleared her throat, and pressed play. The accompaniment jumped out immediately. Ethan's movements followed instantly. The equipment was random and crude, but his powerful beating matched the original accompaniment perfectly, not breaking immersion at all. Luna was dumbfounded, completely forgetting to start singing. Ethan seemed to have entered the state, eyelids lifting high, reminding, "Sing." Luna dared not zone out anymore. "I could be your girlfriend, hey you, I know that you like me." At first, she couldn't keep up with the tune, but under his confident guidance, she slowly found the beat and rhythm. Luna gradually became wanton. One song finished, not enough, she ordered many energetic songs in a row, both Chinese and foreign. She jumped excitedly, shaking her head ceaselessly. Ethan looked at the drums intermittently, looked at her intermittently, infected by her, corners of lips slightly hooked. Halfway through, singing and singing, Luna suddenly stopped. "How come you can play every song? Is there anything you can't do?" Ethan's face darkened suddenly. "Focus, okay? If you were the lead singer, I would have started cursing already." Luna retorted, "It's not a stage performance." "Why so serious?" Ethan didn't speak anymore. He had a new discovery. Luna's dance movements weren't methodless like ordinary people. The posture was obviously professional, and she loved standing on tiptoe. When excitement was high, there would be 1 or 2 rotation movements. Traceable. "Luna Gardner," Ethan called her. Luna held her hands, looking back. "Have you learned dancing before?" She stood still, eyes panicking for an instant, then paying him back in his own coin. "Focus, okay. If you were the drummer, I would have started cursing already." Ethan smiled once, speaking no more. This small episode didn't even count as a flaw, completely not affecting the enjoyment and release this night brought to Luna. She hadn't had such full, real happiness for a long time. The smile seemed sewn onto her face from then on. From riding home to washing and returning to the room, Luna didn't stop smiling for a moment, twisting her waist and gliding, humming, "Hey hey you nonstop." After lying down, she opened the app, messaging Ethan, asleep. Ethan didn't reply. Luna said again, "Thank you for today." Ethan still made no sound. "Luna, I am so happy." She flooded the screen with "thank you" full of tears, hating that she couldn't say 10,000 words of thanks, a whole night of thanks. Ethan was obviously bluffed, sending 3 question marks in a row for the first time. Luna couldn't control her gratitude and tears, just grateful. "Ethan, don't exaggerate." Luna's nose soured, not exaggerating. "Happy enough to cry, do you understand? Saying it 500 times more wouldn't be too much, all because of you." The chat box was quiet for a few seconds. Luna stopped the tear-wiping action amidst the 2 replies jumping out one after another, letting sparkling joy return to her eyes. "Ethan, no need to be polite. Ethan, just spoiling a fan." The second she saw these 2 replies, Luna threw away the phone, hugged her legs, and rocked repeatedly on the bed like a tumbler doll. Happy enough to fly, probably felt just like this. She picked up the phone again, eyes squinting curved. "Have I become a fan?" A moment later, the other side replied, "Maybe leveled up." Luna rubbed her itchy nose. "Oh, didn't you not add fan WeChats?" "Ethan, occasionally make exceptions." "Ethan, if not happy, can downgrade." Luna hurriedly typed, "No, fan badge welded on, forbid dismantling. Also, can I make a tiny request? Ethan." Luna reciprocated, seizing the opportunity to promote communication. "You took me out to play today. Tomorrow I take you out to play, okay?" Celebrating the qualitative leap in our relationship. Ethan has always been good at extinguishing enthusiasm in 1 second. "I can't get up." Luna's face tightened. "I didn't say going out early in the morning." Ethan then asked, "Where to?" Luna pondered, not having thought of a result. "Haven't thought of it yet temporarily." "Ethan, tell me when you think of it." "Ethan, sleeping." Luna froze, glancing at the time. "So early?" "Ethan, tired from your howling tonight." "Luna, you are so weak." "Luna, such a weak person can also bring girls home frequently." "Ethan, you are an anti-fan, right?" Luna immediately hung various well-founded titles on herself. "I am caring about your body. I am a life fan, health fan, mom fan." She stuck in a needle wherever there was room. "So want to grace us with your presence tomorrow for a meal to eat well, drink well, and be strong?" Ethan took his leave. Good night. Although refreshed and wanting to chat endlessly, Luna didn't force it. Tonight she had already harvested way too much positive emotional value. One must learn to be content. Contentment leads to constant happiness. "Fine, good night," she said, saying not curious about Ethan this person would be false. He obviously had superior strength in drumming, but he never worked. Could he be teaching online courses at home? But instrument classes should mostly be tutored face-to-face. Otherwise, it's not easy to correct movements, and pitch would deviate. Thinking of this, Luna climbed out of bed, took out the journal from the drawer, opened it, and recorded the second milestone after meeting Ethan. "Dear Luna, I really admire you, relying on your own abundant personal strength and thick skin to successfully mooch a friend's spot from the handsome drummer in the opposite building. The rhythm of the pen landing was just like the fast songs and drum beats tonight, rushing down 1,000 miles. Finally ending, I guess you are already friends. Dr. Turner was right, taking the brave first step will lead to the natural next step. Congratulations, Luna Gardner, keep up the good work." On the other side, Ethan glanced a second time at the chat interface that didn't light up again, eyebrows slightly raised, somewhat surprised. He didn't hit the practice pad again today. This night of cooperating with the off-key king had already given him enough experience. Ethan pillowed his head on one hand, clicking into Luna's feed for the first time. Unexpectedly, her posts were also set to visible for 3 days, and there wasn't a single content. The background was a pitch-black sky, a tiny dim moon embedded in the upper left corner. Pale and dim, edges blurred, very lonely. The image quality wasn't high, as if taken casually with a phone. Ethan watched intently, emotions indistinguishable. Suddenly, a notification popped up at the top of the screen. Ethan retreated to the chat list, expression sobering instantly. It was a message from his old friend Ken Connor, asking what he was busy with recently. Ethan replied, "Busy with nothing." Ken asked, "You don't live over at Southbridge anymore?" Ethan said, "Moved." Ken, "I was wondering why I couldn't find you." Ethan, "Speak your business." Ken, "An artist team approached me, needing a professional drummer for long-term cooperation. I recommended you first thing. Do you want to try in 2 days? In Shanghai, I'll pay for your ticket." Ethan refused, not going. Ken didn't understand. This opportunity is truly rare. You haven't worked for half a year. What are you doing? Wasting your life. Can't get over popcorn, it won't get better, don't you know clearly? Why so stubborn, loving to guard a corpse? What can locking yourself at home every day do? Just let sentiment bury your ambition and talent. You are only 24, not 84. Don't want a future? Ethan directly deleted the other party. Lying for a while, Ethan felt restless, unable to sleep. He sat up, rubbing his hair irritably. His chest heaved, increasingly suffocating. He simply got out of bed and opened the window for air. As soon as the curtain was pulled open, he saw the figure jumping joyfully on the opposite balcony. Even with the obstruction of railings, the girl's all-white nightdress was extremely eye-catching, like floating snow dancing in the dark night. Ethan froze, thinking he was dreaming. As if afraid he couldn't see, she also turned on the phone flashlight, waving fiercely like a light stick. Her message followed closely, certifying that everything before his eyes was absolutely not an illusion. "Moonpie, you can't sleep either?" Ethan couldn't pretend to be blind anymore, lowering his head to type. "What are you doing there?" Moonpie, maybe too excited today, insomnia. "Just sitting on the balcony for a bit." She asked again, "You too?" Ethan replied, "No." Moonpie, then, Ethan, always felt someone outside the window watching me. Moonpie, that person should be me. Ethan lifted his eyes to glance over there. The girl stood motionless, seemingly focused on chatting. He was helpless. "Go to sleep, okay? Moonpie, what about you sleeping?" Ethan, after replying, he immediately pulled the curtains shut. The screen lit up again. "Moonpie, I'm leaving." Ethan, "Moonpie, I'm really leaving." Ethan, "Go quickly." Moonpie, "Got it." Waiting for a minute, Ethan pressed one hand into the curtain gap, carefully separating a thin line to check if the guy opposite had left honestly. Turns out she was still there, capturing all his little movements. She began verbal provocation. "Moonpie, Bazinga Moonpie, didn't expect I was still here, right?" Ethan, "Unbelievable, this woman, elementary school behavior. Participating for one more second would lower his class." Ethan left the window quickly, returning to bed. But he didn't rush to lie down, waiting for the itinerary report from the annoying spirit that definitely wouldn't be missing. Sure enough, the expected message ran under his eyes. Moonpie really went back to the room this time. Ethan picked up the phone, eyes inexplicably rippling with a smile. "Oh, Moonpie, don't worry and guard the window either." Ethan, "No, thanks." She suddenly called him Ethan. Ethan always felt she had bad intentions, responding faintly. "Moonpie, I just reviewed the chat log of our balcony gaze just now, and then..." Balcony gaze. Ethan was soured by this description, tone chilly. "Speak." "Moonpie, I temporarily added a new fan identity for myself." Ethan. "Moonpie, just that one." Ethan's patience was limited. "Moonpie, girlfriend fan." "Moonpie, hahaha." "Moonpie, pretty good, right?" Ethan froze for a second, then lightning fast exited the chat app, opened a music app, and shared a song, Daydreamer. The next day, Luna got up early. In the past, early mornings and late nights made no difference to her. They could be mixed together and painted into a gray wall that besieged her on all sides. But now it was different. Mornings had the pale white of anticipation, late nights had the ambiguous darkness of starry skies, afternoons were like gold, and dusks like roses. Everything was painted with colors named Ethan. After washing up, she changed into a white tracksuit and went downstairs to run laps. The morning air was cool, and the treetops swayed. Luna's figure was slender and long, like a light and agile heron. She strolled to a nearby breakfast shop, then came back carrying a paper bag, standing downstairs at Ethan's building to voice call him. It rang 3 times before he picked up. "Hello?" The man's voice was lazy and tired, still carrying a bit of overnight raspiness. Luna held the phone high, her smiling eyes curved. "Hello, I bought you breakfast." Are you coming down to get it, or should I bring it up to you? There was silence on the other end. After a while, the man seemed to have woken up, his voice much cleaner. Spare me, Luna Gardner. Luna automatically ignored the first part. You remembered my name? What time is it? He probably moved the phone away to check the time. 7:30, he was in disbelief. What time did you sleep yesterday? Luna said. I went to sleep right after saying goodnight to you. Slept pretty well. Ethan was silent again. Luna waited a while. The downstairs door buzzed open, and the man rattled off a string of numbers very quickly. My place has a keypad lock. Come up, drop the stuff, and leave. Luna memorized it. Okay. She went upstairs and entered smoothly. As soon as she opened the door, Luna was stunned by how overly simple Ethan's home was. There was very little furniture, vast areas of white walls, only one black sofa in the living room, and plain cabinets and a dining table in the kitchen. Anyone who didn't know better would think a thief had just visited last night and swept away all the appliances. Luna took a few more looks at the black iron shoe rack. It held various men's shoes, sneakers, skate shoes, canvas shoes mostly in black and white tones. Besides those, there were no slippers for guests. The corners of Luna's lips twitched slightly, a smile that wasn't quite a smile, like a woman would ever come to his house. Thinking about it, she denied herself. She had come to his house. Because there were no indoor slippers to change into and no shoe covers to be found, Luna didn't know whether to enter or not for a moment. She had to initiate a voice call to Ethan for the second time. 2 ringtones rang out simultaneously in an instant, inside and outside the door, like an echo in an empty valley. Luna hadn't expected this and was scared into hanging up immediately. However, the bedroom door was quickly pushed open, and the man walked out briskly. His hair was slightly messy, his eyes held the fierceness of being woken up, and his whole being was scribbly yet sharp, like a black calligraphy brush just dipped in ink. Most importantly, he wasn't wearing a shirt. His body was more solid than Luna had imagined. His waistline was narrow and long, his abdominal muscles were faintly outlined, and the muscle definition on his arms was particularly distinct. He looked stern. What exactly do you want? Luna tilted her head slightly to avoid her gaze sticking too much to his clean, lean body and lifted the paper bag high. I didn't know where to put it, and your shoe rack didn't have slippers. I didn't know how to come in. Ethan was speechless. He walked over and held out his hand. Give it to me. Coming closer, he noticed her dodging eyes and reddened ears. Only then did he remember he had charged out shirtless, and he instantly fell into awkwardness too. Taking the breakfast, Ethan rubbed his messy hair. Have you eaten? Luna replied. Not yet. To alleviate the subtle atmosphere, Ethan started making conversation. I'm going to put on clothes. Luna paused, her voice barely audible. Go ahead then. Ethan lifted his foot to leave, remembered something, and turned back. Come in, no need to change shoes. Luna said, oh, then shuffled inside with small steps. Ethan placed the paper bag on the dining table. When he turned to go to the bedroom, he nearly bumped into Luna, who had followed him. He looked down, she looked up. Their gazes met in the air and then hurriedly darted away. They passed each other. Pulling on a black t-shirt, Ethan's mind was full of bewilderment and confusion. He adjusted his mood before walking out. Before his eyes, the girl was laying out the sumptuous breakfast portion by portion on the table. The savory aroma overflowed, instantly hooking his appetite. Ethan watched quietly from across the table. Having arranged everything, Luna looked up, sweeping her gaze from top to bottom. Dressed? Ethan, Luna stood straight, seemed better without it. Ethan's jaw tightened. Are you a girl? Ethan asked. Luna replied, how does giving an objective evaluation make me not a girl? Ethan left immediately to wash up in the bathroom. Wiping the water droplets off his face, he looked at himself with wet bangs in the mirror. Suddenly, he pulled his shirt over his head and took it off efficiently, thinking of the scene the female pervert outside had just seen. She got a free show. He put it back on. When he came out again, Luna was already sitting there digging into her oatmeal, looking completely focused. Ethan went to the kitchen to get tableware, sat down, and started eating silently. Luna sat up straight and looked at him. I gave you the bagel sandwich. Do you like it? Whatever, Ethan replied, then added, anything is fine. Luna pushed the croissants and donuts in front of her closer to him. Eat these too. Ethan glanced at them. Too much, Luna said. Eat as much as you can. Ethan suddenly chuckled low. You sound exactly like my mom. Luna, I was already a qualified mother fan. The corner of Ethan's lips was still quirked. A mother fan wouldn't say words like, you look better without clothes. My mistake, Luna admitted immediately, putting on a loving face. You need to wrap yourself up well, can't catch a cold. Boys need to protect themselves when they're outside alone. Why did that sound a bit sarcastic? Ethan moved his eyebrows. You are the most dangerous thing here. Then don't eat my food. I poisoned it. Don't eat a single bite. She made a move to snatch it. Ethan immediately moved the paper plate away, not letting her touch it at all, and gave a wicked smile after she missed. You're still laughing. Luna was dazzled by his pure smile for a moment. She sat back and continued her accusation. You're typical of someone who gets a bargain and still acts innocent. Ethan dragged the bowl back, lifting his eyelids lazily. What's wrong with laughing? Luna said. It looks too good. Ethan's hand paused, the smile vanishing instantly. Can you stop spitting out cheesy pickup lines at the drop of a hat? Luna pleaded her case. How is sincere praise cheesy? Ethan knew he couldn't win an argument with her. Eat. Oh. Luna lowered her head and continued consuming her oatmeal. A moment later, she looked up again. You shouldn't dislike me, right? Ethan stopped, leaning back against the chair. How so? Luna pouted. You were willing to let me into your house and eat with me. I guess you're actually quite willing to have a fan. The corner of Ethan's lip hooked up, showing that mischievous expression again. Of course, I'm not the one losing out. Luna was already familiar with his routine. Dealing with people isn't like this. Too fake? Ethan asked nonchalantly. Then how should it be? Luna said. Tell me the real reason you're willing to interact with me. Ethan turned his face slightly, voice calm. Get up, turn left, there's a mirror. It will tell you the reason. Luna's face heated up at this, but she didn't forget to seize the opportunity to retort. What? Can you stop spitting out cheesy pickup lines? Ethan was stunned by her twist. Which word had anything to do with pickup lines? Luna said seriously. And this reason makes you seem very superficial. Ethan replied, someone skilled in using a telescope shouldn't be the pot calling the kettle black. Luna, I already threw it away. Ethan said, so then you try every means to see me in person every day, is that it? Luna choked for a second. It's so convenient living so close, seeing each other every day is normal. The process of trying every means is also very tiring. No one forced you. Ethan dropped this sentence and leaned forward to continue drinking his coffee. I'm happy to. Luna held her spoon. Can you control that? Up to you. He was too lazy to care and couldn't care. Her thick skin made her invincible. I'm coming again tomorrow. After 10 o'clock, thanks. Is that still breakfast? Then don't come. I'm coming. My phone is on silent before 10. I have your door code. Changing it immediately. No allowed. A breakfast passed in bickering. After finally sending away this chattering, clinging output machine, Ethan lay back on his bed and closed his eyes wearily. A short while later, he opened them, held up his phone, and brought it before his eyes. Recalling the scene of Luna standing awkwardly at the door like a bird hiding from the rain, purely out of some strange impulse, he opened a shopping app, entered the supermarket section, and searched for women's slippers. He picked a white pair and added them to the cart. Ethan's thumb paused, not quite understanding his own behavior. Soon, he found the answer. That woman would inevitably come tomorrow. He was just afraid of being woken up again. Only that. After such careful deliberation, Ethan placed the order without any burden. When she came to Ethan's place to deliver breakfast the next day, Luna saw the pair of brand new pure white slippers. They looked out of place among a group of large men's shoes. Once on her feet, they were light and soft, fitting well, like a pair of welcome tags. So thoughtful. Luna pursed her lips in a smile, changed into them, put the breakfast on the table, and started eating her own portion first. After sucking down the juice from 2 savory soup dumplings, Luna thought they tasted best while hot, so she took out her phone and voice called Ethan. The phone of the person who claimed he would be on silent mode was singing loudly again across the wall. He picked up but stayed silent. Everything was understood without words. Luna smiled. Good morning, your breakfast has been delivered. The call was hung up directly. As soon as Ethan came out, Luna beamed. Probably learning from his mistake, he had put on a t-shirt first today, though his hair was as messy as ever, like flourishing summer grass. He didn't rush to wash up but stopped there, warning repeatedly, "Luna Gardner, if you do this again, don't come tomorrow." Luna crossed her legs self-righteously. "Then wouldn't you have bought these slippers for nothing?" It was the first time Ethan had seen someone sit there and lift their leg to that height, stretching it so straight. He was stunned for a moment. He swept a glance lightly, not lingering, moving his gaze back to her clean, white face. "Who said I bought them for you? You know everything again." Luna lowered her leg. "Could it be for those non-existent women you bring home?" Ethan grunted assent. "Better safe than sorry." Luna curved her lips. "Don't I count?" "Ethan, you don't count as a woman." Luna wasn't annoyed in the slightest. Instead, she acted cutesy, blinking her eyes. "Brother, why is your mouth so foul? How about brushing your teeth before talking to me next time?" Ethan turned and walked to the washroom. While brushing his teeth, a scene flashed suddenly through his mind. It seemed to be Luna's somewhat bony, distinctive toes. The brushing stopped abruptly. The man in the mirror frowned slightly. He then looked down, glanced at his own feet, and connected it with the girl's performance at the KTV the other day. He basically confirmed one thing. After washing his face, Ethan sat down, tore open a packet of vinegar, squeezed it out, and silently ate his portion of dumplings. Out of the corner of his eye, the girl was uncharacteristically quiet, sipping soy milk, like a white butterfly concentrating on gathering nectar. It was silent for a good while. Ethan felt slightly uncomfortable and lazily initiated conversation. "Luna." Luna raised her eyes, still biting the straw. Ethan asked. "Did you learn ballet?" Luna's eyes flickered violently, her face flushing completely red. "How did you know?" Ethan said. "I just saw your feet." Luna immediately pulled both feet back under the chair, making a useless attempt to hide them, trying to interrupt. "How can you stare at a girl's feet? In ancient times, you'd have to marry her." Ethan was speechless. He tilted his head back, then looked back at her. "They were practically shoved in my face, hard not to see." Luna's voice became lighter, talking about other things to avoid him asking more about dancing. "Are my feet not very good looking?" Ethan was quiet for a second, didn't look closely. Luna pinched 5 fingers on one hand. "You just think they're ugly," Ethan said. "I only looked once." "Luna, one look was ugly enough to make a deep impression on you." Ethan propped up his head, closing his eyes briefly. "I only asked you one sentence if you learned ballet. How can you drag out so much?" Dead silence fell over the dinner table again. Luna was full of regret that she forgot to wear socks today, accidentally leaking her past. Having not trained or performed for a long time, her feet had actually recovered to normal, with only residual calluses and the valgus of the bone's bunions. This was a brand that could never be changed in a lifetime, even if she could hardly dance again. But hearing it from the mouth of someone she cared about was still like an old scar being suddenly ripped open, overflowing with blood-curdling pain in her heart. Luna lowered her head and dealt vigorously with the soy milk that was nearly at the bottom. The slurping sound from the straw, venting her feelings, made Ethan frown. He put down his chopsticks, stopped eating, and had no expression. Ethan, this person, when he smiled, it was like breaking through clouds, very dazzling, with flamboyant, boyish spirit, not hiding his frivolous and mischievous side. But once he showed no emotion, it was like a glacier pressing down in front of you, the pressure appearing instantly. Luna noticed it, and her heart grew more flustered. She immediately put down the empty plastic cup, got up, and packed away her portion of the breakfast waste. "I'm leaving first. Enjoy your meal. Bye." She left the seat to change shoes right after speaking. Seeing her slightly rugged toes, Luna froze, hurriedly hid them in her shoes, and fled out the door. Ethan didn't say goodbye to her. He didn't say a single word. Returning home, Luna threw herself onto the bed. She lay flat, her heart beating fast and messy. When she felt the cold wetness, she discovered tears had unknowingly gathered into small lakes in her ears. She rubbed them away with her hand, effortlessly put her feet together, lifted her legs 90 degrees high, and stared blankly. The moment she arched her instep, tears gushed out like a spring again. Crying out the fear and pain, Luna calmed down a bit, got out of bed, took out a pair of thick white cotton socks from the wardrobe drawer, and put them on tightly. Her nerves relaxed slightly only then. She took a deep breath and took out her phone to check WeChat. There were no new messages in her pinned chats. Luna curled her fingers nervously and clicked on Ethan's moments. The visible for 3 days setting was still there. She let out a long sigh and switched back to send him a message. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave early. I will go again tomorrow morning. I am not the kind of person who gives up halfway. Please don't change the keypad code, okay? Give me one more chance. Ethan didn't reply. Luna sniffed lightly. Are you there? The next second, Ethan sent her a video call invitation directly. Luna was stunned, her head heating up slightly, and pressed accept. Unexpectedly, it wasn't Ethan himself in the picture, but a supermarket shelf, the slipper section. The man's low voice sounded severely lacking in patience, but the movement of the camera scanning was slow, seeming to let her see clearly the style of every pair of closed-toe slippers. Choose yourself. Luna wanted to cry and laugh at the same time, her eyes swelling. No need to buy more, I'll wear socks over there tomorrow myself. Ethan disconnected the video. Luna sat for a while, holding the phone high with both hands, painfully confessing, I started learning ballet at 7, was in a dance troupe but had a car accident last year. I can't dance anymore. It's quite miserable. She deliberately narrated lightly, but actually her throat was severely blocked, stuck with an invisible, huge bitter fruit, unable to cough it up or swallow it down. Near suffocation. A short while later, Ethan replied, I'm only curious about one thing, and said, You don't need to answer directly, just want to check a code with you because I have it too. Luna asked, What? Ethan said, Sertraline. Zoloft so she and he, they were the same kind. Luna pursed her lips tight, a tide rising in her heart. You saw it. Ethan saw it long ago. Luna raised her hand to wipe a tear, apologizing. Sorry, I might have treated you as a life-saving straw during this time, pinning hope on you to end this state. It must be unbearable for you. Ethan, so don't come to deliver breakfast anymore. Luna swallowed the sobbing urge hard, chin trembling slightly. The next moment, her gaze stopped abruptly. Ethan, starting tomorrow. Ethan, come out to eat with me. Luna didn't know how to describe the feeling of this moment. She only felt her whole self melting, like a piece of butter softened over warm water. She lost her language ability, only able to reply with the simplest words. Ethan, you are so good. Ethan replied, Stop being cheesy. Luna sniffed, But you really are very good. Ethan said, Just what you think. Luna sat back on the edge of the bed. Do you really have it too? I mean, depression. She finally no longer feared raising this term that few could empathize with, because of shared misery, because of mutual appreciation, because of the other party's unreserved honesty and comfort. Ethan didn't deny it. Yes, Luna asked. Is it still there now? Ethan said, I stopped medication almost half a year ago. Luna said, You can't stop medication unauthorized. Ethan, I know. Luna worried, How do you feel now? Ethan said, Calm, and asked, You. Luna thought for a while, honest. Just cried a big one and want to see you a bit. Ethan, he confirmed rigorously, Is it really want to see or a cheesy pickup line? Luna burst into laughter because of this sentence, losing all sadness. A cheesy pickup line is that I want to see you very much. Ethan said, Come down, I'm almost downstairs at your place. Fearing he would wait long, Luna ran out of the room in a tearing hurry, changed shoes, and ran out the door at full speed. Mrs. Miller didn't even have time to ask where she was going. Walking out of the stairwell, Ethan was indeed standing at the end of the path. He was carrying a supermarket shopping bag, a semi-transparent style. Inside were the new slippers Ray purchased for her, visible at a glance. He had no expression, but Luna smiled. The girl had obviously just cried. The redness around her eyes hadn't faded, like the evening after rain, clouds still being burned by the sun. He looked at her and she looked at him. Sunlight poured down, the two seemed to be knowing each other. The understanding here needed no words. Moments later, Ethan's eyes were dark, but his smile was bright. Done looking. If you're done, I'm going back. Ah, Luna wilted in a second. Ethan said, Ah, what ah? Luna took the opportunity to negotiate. Can we advance it a bit? Ethan asked. Advance what? Luna said. Move tomorrow's breakfast to today's lunch. Ethan didn't speak. Finally, he said, I only said we'd meet tomorrow morning. Luna said, Today's lunch counts as a patient's gathering. Ethan smiled a bit. I've never felt I was sick. Luna said, Your mentality is quite good then, immediately changing her tune. Or change to noon fan meeting? Ethan frowned. Since when did I give you the impression of being easy to talk to? Don't know. Luna crossed her hands a few times. Maybe you told me in a dream. Ethan hooked his lips. Ethan, Luna called him. He responded lightly. She was pleading. Okay, it's cruel to be cut off when the mood is up. Ethan sighed in his heart and waved his hand. Let's go. Luna followed, overjoyed. Walking by his side, the corners of her lips competed with the corners of her eyes for height, starting to push her luck and get to the bottom of things. How did you discover it? Ethan glanced sideways. Is it hard to discover? Luna said. I don't know, at least I didn't think you were, you. Speaking of this, she realized belatedly, her voice instantly rising high. Last time you took me to KTV, was it because of this? Ethan nodded. Well, Luna let out a breath, disappointed. I thought my charismatic personality conquered you. Ethan sneered slightly. Luna lowered her voice. Then are you pitying me? Ethan looked at her. Why pity you? Pitying you equals pitying myself. Luna curved her lips. But you are still drumming, and I can't do anything. Ethan said lightly, if I don't drum, what else can I do? A large wave of sour resonance surged in Luna's heart, but she still joked to comfort him. You can still chat with me, Ethan said. Chatting with you affects the appetite for the day. Luna choked for a second. What did I do now? Ethan said. You know yourself. Luna sulked for a second. You're so handsome, there must be other girls hitting on you. I don't believe they don't say this kind of sour stuff to you. Ethan stopped speaking. You are the most. Luna killed her way back with a fierce face, articulating coldly and hard to catch the words. Cute, Ethan turned his face, exhaling lightly. If you say so, Luna continued to emphasize. They don't understand you, but I understand you. Ethan smiled slightly. What do you understand? Luna paused, voice like a mosquito. Understand the tiny softness and fragility in your heart. Turn around. Ethan stopped walking. Don't eat anymore. Why, you started again. Why can't people tell the truth? You don't understand at all. Oh, don't understand. I am smarty pants who doesn't understand. She started shaking her head, being unreasonable. Ethan had no way. He decided to blame everything on Luna's face, like soft tofu, delicate, white, full of a sense of fragility, so he couldn't bear to destroy it. Sitting in the restaurant, Ethan ordered a beef stew first, then handed the menu to Luna. You do the rest. Luna took it with both hands. You're not ordering? Ethan nodded, arms folded on the table edge. Luna randomly ordered 4 dishes. Seeing off the waiter, Luna imitated his posture, calling him. Ethan? After completely opening the skylight, she became more indomitable than before, brave to express, and of course, clingier and insatiable. Ethan raised his eyelids, thick lashes like curtains. Luna pursed her lips, smiling. Why are you called Ethan? Ethan didn't move, chin pointing to where the phone was placed. Help you ask my parents? Luna switched questions. Then what did you do before? I told you have to tell me too. Ethan didn't hide it. Just drumming, Luna guessed wildly. In a band? Ethan Ed. Luna's eyes widened. Really? Ethan nodded. Luna asked again, can we still see your performances now? Ethan said, disbanded. Luna was dumbfounded for a moment, saying after a while, sorry, shouldn't have asked. Ethan looked indifferent, picking up chopsticks, tone casual. Doing music is like this. There is mass attention, and there is vanishing without a trace. Luna fell silent. After a good while, she said, but I don't think you vanished without a trace. You know, your drumming is very powerful. If a depressed person like me can hear it, others can certainly hear it too. Ethan was quiet for a few seconds, pulling his lips into a smile. Except for you, everyone is complaining about me. This smile was meaningful, hard to distinguish whether it was self-mockery or pleasure after receiving praise. Luna's heart ached faintly. No, there are so many people in this complex. The ones complaining about you are just those few bad eggs looking for trouble. Her wording was just like a kid focusing on upholding justice without using her brain, making Ethan smile again. The waiter brought the first dish, the beef stew Ethan ordered. Ethan picked up chopsticks, speaking no more. After eating, the two chatted and went back to their respective homes. After getting home, Ethan washed his hands and walked to the door of the practice room. His drum kit was placed in the shade as a set, like a black, bearing fangs and brandishing claws mechanical monster. The cymbals were shiny, but also covered with traces of beating. Leaning against the door frame and staring at it for a good while, Ethan turned and left, returning to the bedroom for a nap. Before lying back on the pillow, he picked up his phone, wanting to see if the cheesy contestant had any new messages. Unexpectedly, the owner group chat, where almost no one usually spoke, appeared in the first row he was forced to enter after being called to the property management office for the first time, and later forgot to mute it. A familiar avatar jumped into view. Unit 1203, BLDG 22, have you guys heard drumming in the afternoon recently? Around 4 o'clock to 4:30 p.m. I think it sounds so good. Some owners' agreements followed closely. Unit 204, BLDG 20. Yes, don't know which bro is drumming amazing super lit feel like listening to Live Whiplash. Unit 1101, BLDG 18. It's this, made my son tell me every day he wants to learn. Damn speechless. Unit 103, BLDG 23, right in our building. Seems quite handsome too. Other owners popped up one after another. There's a handsome guy, request introduction. In the group, someone him, which building, I'll squat and listen later too. Ethan absolutely didn't expect this strange move from the girl. With slightly fast heart rate, he backed out to private message Luna. The opposite side was very innocent. What's up? Ethan asked. What are you doing? Moon pie, I am being selfless. Ethan, what meaning? Moon pie. Although I don't know how you were in the past, I want to say the current you has not vanished without a trace. Moon pie, your drum sound can still ignite many people. You are still emitting heat and light. From that day on, the two's dining action officially unfolded. The frequency was high or low. Sometimes 3 meals a day were together, sometimes only 1 meal a day. The location wasn't fixed either, mostly dine-in, occasionally lingering in the snack street. A gap was chiseled in the gray rock layer around them, with fresh oxygen and sunlight gushing in and filling it. Their relationship also advanced by leaps and bounds due to close interaction. The girl always had endless things to say, talking with fervor every time they met. Once she even joked, "We seem to be dating." Ethan was cold as always. Dream on. Luna rounded her eyes. Doesn't our behavior look like dating? Can't even say it. Ethan said, no, infringing on my reputation rights. Luna immediately used a bamboo skewer with not a single fish ball left as a weapon, poking him from a distance, like fencing, to show dissatisfaction. Ethan leaned sideways to dodge a few times. Starting personal threats now, huh? Yeah, Luna was always straight-spoken. You won't let me say it, I'll say it anyway and say it many times. Luna's mother heard about this from Mrs. Miller and called to ask her one night. Are you dating? Luna had just taken a shower, her cheeks already steamed pink, now redder on red. No way. The specific pettish sound of her daughter's mood sounded like a drooping flower head lifting high again, retrieving the fragrance of life. Luna's mother said with relief, even if you really are, it's nothing. You're at that age. Luna became coy. Really not. Her mother said, then just getting along? Luna thought about it. Probably counts. The child's happiness was the first principle. Luna's mother didn't force her to explain clearly, only saying, send a photo to mom to see if there's a chance later. Luna said, that depends on whether I can get one. He's a bit difficult. Her mother's smile didn't diminish. Must be very handsome. That's for sure. Luna stuck out her chest. But actually, to tell the truth, she also didn't quite understand her relationship with Ethan. They had been eating together for half a month at least. Saying there was no progress at all would definitely be nonsense. At least they met and chatted every day. But it seemed taking a further step became difficult. Her joking probes would always be iced back by Ethan without thinking. This night, Luna's voice called Ethan as usual. Why? Hello? Very strange. She never used this kind of sweet and sticky altered tone in the past, but now it seemed like instinctive speech. The man's tone was as usual, cold with a bit of a smile. What? Luna asked. Where to eat tomorrow? Ethan said. Can't think of anywhere. These days, they were like two food bloggers whose content was only visible to each other. Chat topics always revolved around eating and drinking because it was the most logical and foolproof. Luna regretted, but I checked the weather. It seems it will rain tomorrow. Ethan asked, then let's not go out. Just right to rest for a day. Luna said, rain the day after tomorrow too, and the day after that. Ethan said, then rest for a week. Luna was unhappy. Can't you be a little positive? People like us should go out more, don't let all previous efforts fall short. She meant more than one thing, wondering if he understood. Fine, this hateful man didn't know if he was playing dumb or really dumb. You can go out yourself. Luna breathed deeply in anger, pretending to joke. You're tired, you're bored, you've had enough of this life. Ethan replied innocently, I didn't say that. Luna thought that they had indeed interacted too closely during this time, and there should be a slack period, so she didn't force it. Then, let's do this. We rest separately for 3 days. Suspend contact during this period. Ethan hummed a laugh, seemingly unbelieving. Okay. Luna gritted her teeth secretly, said goodbye, and put down the phone. The next day, she fulfilled her promise and didn't actively harass Ethan anymore. And Ethan happened to have an appointment. Ever since being deleted, Ken had tried every means to add his WeChat back from other friends, asking repeatedly if they could meet. Ethan was annoyed and reluctantly agreed. Ken, happy to receive permission, specially flew back from the capital on the same day. He and Ethan were old friends. He served as the manager of Popcorn and was also Ethan's college classmate. The initial Popcorn was just a campus rock band formed by 4 freshman boys from different departments, hitting it off vocalist, guitarist, bassist, drummer. All based on hobbies, structure simple and clear. After a semester of adjustment and running in, they found tacit understanding and started performing in bars near the school. Later, a short video of the band filmed by a passerby became an instant hit on TikTok, and more audiences came for the fame. Just like all unique, highbrow art pieces, underground bands were undoubtedly niche. But beside the spring where talent surged, there would never be a lack of longing believers. Their popularity skyrocketed in the circle, and invitations from bars doubled. Slowly, live houses all over the country had a place for them. Under the stages of music festivals, there was no lack of groups of fans swinging and going crazy for them, cheering and singing along. I said, in front of the dim bar counter, Ken drank a bit too much, eyes flashing with unwillingness and melancholy. I said you guys didn't pick a good band name back then. Popcorn. Pop, he opened his arms, then made a gesture of a bird plummeting. Exploded once, then silence, a flash in the pan. Ethan played with the cup at hand, not looking at him. You called me out just to say this? Ken sighed faintly. No, still that matter from last time. Ethan asked, haven't found anyone yet. Ken said, none satisfactory. I showed them 2 of your solo clips, they're set on you. Ethan lowered his eyes nonchalantly. Can't you let me go, let me rest well for a while? Ken tapped the table twice in vent. No, I just can't stand seeing you become a useless person. Among the other 3, who is as stubborn and inflexible as you? Everyone is doing better than you. West is on variety shows now. Are you worse than him? Who are you keeping your chastity for? Ethan's face was calm. So, come to New York with me. Ken's tone was tough. Find something to do, don't drift through life like this. Ethan said, I'm not drifting. Ken laughed hearing this. You're not drifting, say what you are doing now. Ethan paused. Taking the exam for first-class constructor. Ken opened his eyes wide, disbelief. For real? Ethan said, real. Ken froze there, confirming repeatedly. Meaning not drumming anymore? Is that right? Did I hear wrong? Ethan nodded lightly. Is your life interesting? Ken was obviously angry, turning his head to leave, only throwing down this sentence indignantly. Ethan wanted to say, there isn't only one way to live life. But he couldn't refute. Those words stuck in his throat could only be swallowed back into his body with the tasteless alcohol to numb his heart. Coming out of the quiet bar, a layer of crimson intoxication had surfaced in Ethan's eyes. His phone had turned off at some point. He pressed it many times, but the screen was pitch black. Unable to hail a car, he could only walk home. Ethan walked very slowly. His mind was muddled and absent-minded during the walk, nearly colliding with a passing e-bike. The other party rode away cursing. Ethan didn't say a word, having no strength and too lazy to haggle. Just suddenly felt that every road in the world was so bumpy, especially the road less traveled. Betrayal and separation were the norm. Going one's own way was a sickness. Giving didn't necessarily mean a good result. Running wild, still lost with nothing gained. Those obsessions, hot blood, determination, the persistence to walk a path to dark, all turned into boomerangs, making him appear weak, extreme, evasive, and vulnerable. Ethan glanced at the shadow under his feet, basically confirming that the end of most brilliant stories was ultimately just a stroke of gloomy, solitary walk. After getting home, he lowered his head to unlock the code, unexpectedly opened from inside ahead of time. He was stunned, meeting the eyes of the girl tilting her head and smiling behind the door. She smiled very brilliantly, also very dazzlingly, like a sunrise appearing in the night untimely. Ethan frowned. "Why did you come over?" Luna explained. "Your phone was off, couldn't reach you, a bit worried about you." Ethan walked past her inside without looking sideways, sneering coldly. "I thought I went to the wrong house." His voice was piercingly cold, like planting several ice picks in the air. Luna stood stiffly for 2 seconds, only turning her head back, not following inside. "Confirming you're okay, I'll go first." Her nose twitched slightly, having already noticed the residual smell in the air. Thinking about it, she still showed concern. "You drank?" and asked carefully, "Did something happen?" Ethan's eyes lifted irritably. He turned his head back, almost shouting out. "Stop caring, okay?" The voice fell, the girl motionless. In this instant, she looked static, like an exquisite glass mannequin. Also, Ethan's attitude seemed to return to the day they first met, warning indifferently. "Don't promote me in the group chat every now and then anymore. You don't really think I like this, do you?" No drums. Rare to be seen by everyone in the center of the stage like you. As a drummer, the most hated thing is being discovered, being watched. Having too strong a presence in a performance, in a song, only shows I didn't drum well at all, didn't blend in at all. "Is that so?" Luna's chest heaved rapidly, but her tone was calm. Although her face was red as blood, eyes brimming, as if about to burst any time. "The saying I saw is that the drummer is the soul of a band, comparable to the foundation of a house. Whether it's stable or not depends entirely on you. Without you, nothing can be done. Why not want to be seen? Shouldn't it be seen?" "So?" Ethan looked at her unblinkingly. "What do you want to prove?" Luna choked. "Your value, the value as a drummer. You can still drum at least, can't you? Whether I drum or not is my own business." "Oh," Luna opened her mouth, agreeing with difficulty. "I was meddling. Drum if you love to, whatever." Throwing down the words, she turned and left. The moment the girl slammed the door and left, Ethan's chest felt as if it had been run over ruthlessly, jumping in intense pain. He stood in place, didn't move, lips pressed dead tight. The next moment, he sucked in a breath and chased out. No one at the elevator entrance. Ethan raised his eyes to scan the flashing floor numbers, pressing the down button repeatedly. Determining he couldn't wait at all, he turned to walk to the emergency exit, looking down at his phone at the same time. He forgot it was already off. As if getting lost contact from then on, Ethan's brow furrowed. He panted and rushed out of the stairwell, shouting Luna's name in the vast, uninhabited night curtain. Luna, a few sensor lights behind him lit up. "Luna," Ethan called again, voice like indigo lightning tearing the sky. A third-floor resident opened the window to curse, voice louder than him. "What time is it? What are you shouting for?" Ethan's Adam's apple moved slightly, running quickly towards the building in front. Luna stopped downstairs at her own building, just took out the key preparing to open the door, immediately fixed by these two shouts. Her hand moved no more. In the hesitating few seconds, hurried footsteps came from the side, accompanied by the rustling of vegetation in the wind. Luna dared not look, accelerating to insert the key into the keyhole, as if to drive away and escape. But her heart was too chaotic, couldn't find the orientation at all. After several fruitless attempts, she dropped her hands in frustration, tears falling again. Ethan stopped at the bottom of the steps, not moving forward, and she was above the steps, back facing him. Her shoulders were trembling, because of the low sobbing she couldn't suppress. "Luna," he called her name for the third time today, but much duller. "I'm sorry." All these days, her name in his mouth was basically disdainful, playful, mocking, careless. But this night she heard more unfamiliar emotions: anxious, panicked, sincere, guilty. Teardrops popped out largely. Luna wiped them, turned her head, and sobbed, nothing to be sorry about. Her eyes were shattered and glistening, like cracking crystal. "I indeed don't understand drums, and harassed you for many days. It's good you can speak clearly today, otherwise, I'm still self-righteous over here, wishful thinking." Ethan was still looking at her from below, saying nothing. "It doesn't matter anymore," Luna sniffed, patted her legs with both hands, smiled pretending to be indifferent but actually dying of hardship. "I'm going home." Finished speaking, she turned her back again, rummaging for the stairwell key on the keychain. They had already pressed sporadic blood marks on the inside of her palm. "Luna." He called her again. The girl's arm stiffened. The voice behind stopped for an instant, then said, "I'm not a person worth relying on." Luna turned her head back. His headless and tailless words made her eyes flood again. "I don't have many friends and don't bring girls home." The man stood there, thin and pale, like a snow sculpture that would collapse at any time. "But I used to have my own band and was popular in the circle for a while. In fact, playing music is a very strenuous and money-burning thing." Ethan's eyelids drooped slightly, then lifted. "My various current conditions are not worth you doing this for me. After moving here, I didn't want to know anyone, but you are an exception." The face looking over was calm to the point of gloomy. "I also started learning drums at 7, but I'm different from you. I'm an amateur drummer. Practicing drums is a hobby. I went to college right here. My major had nothing to do with music. Freshman year, on a whim, formed a band, then I really started learning to be a musician. At that time, a few of us practiced like crazy day and night, running in, writing songs, until we could perform on stage. Because of this, I haven't gone home for 3 years and haven't contacted my parents for 3 years. Result was disbanding right after graduation. After that, I've been depressed until now, 1 year. Don't know what else I can do besides drumming every day, but not drumming, unsure if I'm still alive." He hooked the corner of his mouth almost imperceptibly. "You said I can still play, but I don't think so. I feel my drum sound has died along with the band." Luna turned her head, covering her mouth tight, crying to the point of gasping. Ethan exhaled very lightly. "Luna, you have no problem. It's me and my drum sound, both unworthy of your liking." Luna pressed her wet red nose, trying hard to adjust, avoiding making hoarse, ugly crying sounds. "I ask you." She turned around completely, looking down from above, looking straight at him. "If you hadn't met me, what did you plan to do?" Ethan didn't answer immediately. A short while later he said, "Don't know." Luna said, "In the past, I didn't know either, but I met you." Ethan's eyelashes trembled slightly. Luna's words were intermittent. "You said your drum sound has died, but how come I can't hear it? Do you think I just like your drum sound?" "No." Her tone became urgent, shedding tears several times, then holding back forcefully. "What I like is the vitality inside your drum sound. This vitality only you can emit. That's why I bought a telescope, just wanted to see the person possessing this power. I wanted to know the person possessing this power. I just want to like the person possessing this power. If you say unworthy, then unworthy." She almost shouted and screamed. "Does what you say count for anything?" Just as the voice fell, a burst of night wind blew hard. Several stairwell windows lit up steeply, like the quiet night startled open sleepy eyes, looking around in panic. Ethan stared at Luna without blinking for half a moment, starlight gradually rising in his eyes. Impulsive venting was always accompanied by belated shyness and remorse. Luna's face was red and ears hot, looking away. Out of the corner of her eye, the man suddenly walked up the steps quickly. Luna's heels left the ground, weighing whether to dodge backward. Before any reaction, her center of gravity shifted, dragged directly into a chest. Luna's heart beat wildly. A very tight, warm, energy-filled hug, like a systemic injection, brutally penetrating into her body from every place they squeezed and pasted together. She could feel every one of her blood vessels rushing, then boiling, hot, completely cut off from the calm night. The annoying alcohol smell on the man's body all turned into sweet perfume. She was flying at midnight. The empty top of her head was filled with orange starlight. Luna heard her own tremolo, asking him in disbelief, "You are hugging me?" The answer above her ear tip revealed a helplessness of hopeless. "Otherwise, who am I hugging?" Luna couldn't put on an exact expression, not knowing whether to cry or laugh. "Do you drummers hug people so hard?" Saying so, her arms raised slightly, fingertips brushing his clothing material, wanting to touch but withdrawing. Ethan released her, asking in a low voice, "Did I hurt you?" Luna's eyes filled with tears, nodded with a large amplitude, continuing to apply. Can you hug again?" Same degree as just now. Ethan hugged her again without thinking. His arms exerted even more force than before. There was no more gap between them. Luna whimpered excitedly. "So it is this kind of power." Making her renewed and wrapping her in, hard to cut off since then. Ethan asked, "What power?" Luna tried hard to describe. "Just what I could only hear before, that power I just told you about, but now I seem to be able to feel it personally." Ethan smiled, chin sticking to her temple, rubbing. I haven't felt it yet, can you demonstrate? Luna smiled too, finally having the courage to hug back. Her hands climbed on his back, elbow joints exerting force as hard as possible. Just like this should be about enough. Can you feel it? Ethan, Ed. Seems still a bit short. Harder will hurt. Fear what, he said. Pain means being alive. Lying back in bed after washing up, Luna's mind drifted, seemingly trapped in a big soft cotton candy. She was completely wrapped in pink sweetness. Both corners of her lips lifted and flattened and lifted. Finally giving up resistance, she messaged Ethan, home yet? The other side replied quickly, you asked for the second time. Luna reviewed the chat history, couldn't help pressing her lips and giggling oddly, oh, forgot, and asked, then showered? Ethan, you, Luna answered, washed. Then complained, hugged full of sweat smell, washed immediately upon return. Ethan probably laughed, so hugging is physical labor. Luna's face slightly hot, yeah, maybe waist sour and back pain tomorrow morning. Ethan said, so exaggerated. Luna couldn't close her mouth, face about to smile stiff. The next moment her almost stiff apple cheeks smoothed out because of the man's sudden serious thanks. Luna, thank you. Luna stared at the screen, eyes filled with tenderness. Why suddenly thank? Ethan said, a lot. He didn't explain one by one, but it far exceeded 1,000 words. Luna felt she could receive the motto among a lot. Then he said, especially people like you. Luna held the phone, what about me? Ethan said, people fragile inherently. Luna's eyelashes flashed, same to you but? She said with red ears. You suddenly hugged me today, I was quite surprised. Ethan said, I was surprised too. Luna? Seeming to ignore her serial question marks, the man spoke on his own. Actually, everything happened tonight was somewhat unexpected. Luna snorted. You prepared to not acknowledge it, right? Ethan asked, did I say so? Luna pointed out, you have this meaning. Ethan, what meaning? Luna scratched her forehead. The trend of having the next sentence be, Luna, this is just a considerate idol's hug to a heartbroken fan, don't overthink. Ethan, thanks, saved me thinking hard again. Luna sat up bouncing, biting her lower lip, intimidating, you dare. Result, he really opened with the same opening? Luna. Luna feared avoiding too late. I'm out of credit, I'm off. I dropped line, my Wi-Fi broke. But his next sentence was not the scumbag line she provided. You said before you were my girlfriend fan, right? A predictable, overly obvious sweet air hit her face. Luna sat there encircling, forehead knocking knees, pursing lips pretending. Seems said so, can't remember clearly. Result, he quoted that previous chat record and said, consider removing the suffix. Luna stared, abruptly stood up and plopped back down. If it weren't dead of night with others at home, she would surely scream 300 times, jumping the bed into a honeycomb. Her face almost rotted from smiling, still pretending reserve, tit for tat. Can I share a song, Daydreamer? This time changed person to intimidate, advise you better not. Luna refused to submit, I'm going to find it in the playlist. No movement in the chat box. Ethan didn't know whether to be angry or laugh. Was this the second time, eating a boomerang tonight? Only this one made of fruit gummy, hitting the skull, only having a force making the heart itch unbearably. Ethan waited unblinkingly for her reply with rare patience. A minute later, the opposite really sent a song share. Only, the song name wasn't the Daydreamer remembered for long and retaliated deliberately, but Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You. Ethan laughed directly, clicked open this song, treating it as the background sound for the chat. The tune, originally lingering and wistful pouring out heart, made the corners of his mouth unable to come down. He pretended calm evaluation, cheesy song, Luna unhappy, then change one. Luna, girlfriend Avril Lavigne Luna. Tonight officially appointed it as our love theme song. Ethan finally recognized, this is acceptable. He praised from the bottom of his heart, music is amazing. Luna agreed, just amazing. Gaze stopping on the word music, Ethan acted on a whim, going out tomorrow. Luna held the phone, seemingly holding a strawberry sundae. Where to? Ethan said, listen to live. He sent a screenshot, I checked, Salty has a show tomorrow. Luna clicked open the big picture, heart beating fast. I haven't been to a live house yet. Ethan, then even more need to go, it's the place closest to music. Luna smiled, brimming, okay. Ethan checked the time, very late sleep. Luna still, okay. What to do, poor vocabulary like this, but what could be done? The entire feeling right now was simply, only good beyond words, good extremely, good enough to croak. Putting down the phone, Luna's whole person still floated in an unrealistic atmosphere, like rippling on a pink lake surface under sunset. Tossing and turning for a while, hard to sleep, she picked up the phone to confirm repeatedly, "We are already boyfriend and girlfriend, right?" Ethan obviously didn't sleep either. "Luna, right? Ethan gave an affirmative answer. "Yes." Luna's face lit up by success smile again. Ethan said yes then definitely is. Ethan was abruptly amused by his girlfriend's cold humor. Luna died of happiness, proud through. "I have a boyfriend. Turns out having a boyfriend feels like this." She had a whimsical idea. "I'm going to do something big." Then no more sound. In the gap of waiting, a wonderful premonition and tacit understanding urged Ethan to get out of bed, opening the window without hesitation. Across the deep twilight, the girl who just came up to the balcony of the opposite building stopped abruptly. She paused for a few seconds, spreading hands, as if expressing surprise and dissatisfaction. Ethan hooked the corner of his mouth, turned to turn on all bedroom lights, then returned to the original place. Luna, like last time, clicked on the flashlight, adjusted to highest brightness, waving and shaking. They looked at each other for a long time. In the sea of night, his window sash was like a lighthouse, her phone like a star. The world was no longer an isolated island, gentle and quiet. The next evening, the two met downstairs on time. Comfort was most important for going to a live house, so Luna didn't dress up grandly. Ethan's attire was also as usual. Only, this date, their identity and mentality had both changed, different from the past. "Hi." Looking at each other for the first second, Luna's heart overflowed with indescribable awkwardness, hard to speak indiscriminately anymore, instead inexplicably coy. Ethan smiled, also, "Hi, Ed." Luna sucked in a breath, pointing to the main road of the complex. "How do we go to Salty?" Ethan followed to look. "Taxi." Silence again between the two. Luna's ears heated up, laughing out loud. "So weird." Ethan hooked his lips. "We're weird," Luna said, suddenly changed into another relationship. Ethan said, "Wasn't it coerced by you?" Luna spread hands to both sides, innocent. "Did I?" Ethan skipped this question, proposing, "Walk holding hands." Luna lowered her head, but a smile surged up. When lifting eyes again, she handed over her gaze and left hand together, giving an affirmative answer. The moment Ethan held it, Luna felt her heart jumping out of her body. A man's hand felt like this. Even clasping lightly, there was strength, like two trees with intertwined roots. Luna evaluated. "Ethan, your hand is so hard." Ethan sneered low. "Can find a better adjective?" Luna pouted. "How good a eulogy can a person whose heart is about to explode say?" Ethan laughed. "Fine, barely accept." Afterglow like fire burning, quiet but also brilliant, the two walked hand in hand silently. Luna was a bit shy, daring not check Ethan's reaction boldly, so looked straight ahead, pursing lips for a while, asking, "How does my hand feel?" Ethan sighed in heart. "Can you not ask, keep the atmosphere?" Luna couldn't help laughing. "Just want to know if your heart also exploded." Ethan said, "No," immediately adding lightly, "Just louder than my drumming sound." Luna turned her face away, afraid she smiled too ferociously. "Ethan," she called him again. "Ethan Ed, walk a bit slower?" "Okay." Because the two spent too long on the road to the main gate of the complex. There were no front row positions when arriving at Salty. Luna rarely came to this kind of place. Fingers catching the man's arm tightened subconsciously. Ethan seemed born belonging here, diving deep with ease. Looking around, instruments were already arranged on stage, environment dark, crowd like dense blackfish squeezing together in the final carnival before slaughter. Various body odors intertwined, music like broken glass burst in eardrums continuously. Luna touched her ears, trying hard to adapt. Suddenly, the man beside called her name. "Luna," she turned her head. Ethan asked, "Okay?" Luna replied loudly. "Very good," he laughed, stars in his eyes. Not long after, band members took stage. Cheers and whistles instantly like tsunami frenzy, surging endlessly in the venue. Everyone raised phones invariably, as if performing some worship ritual, only for the prince on the steps. Prelude out, everyone started jumping, methodless, but almost consistent boiling and madness. Luna gradually blended in, also dancing body, following rhythm, laughing and humming. Ethan glanced at her, lips slightly hooked. The second song was slow, Queens We Are the Champions. Countless arms stretching in midair became reeds in the wind, swaying left and right slowly. Stage light beams crushed over the whole venue. Everyone sang along involuntarily. Luna noticed the band's drummer, located right rear of stage, facing silver drum kit. He only wore a black tank top, light-colored medium-long hair half-tied behind head, shaking head, arm movements wanton and immersive. Her swaying right hand slowed down. Was Ethan also like this in the past? Attention of millions, crazy for music, looking effortless, actually fighting day and night. She couldn't help turning her head. The man stood there, no photo taking, no dancing, face quiet and lonely. Luna dropped her hand, probing over, hooking his finger. Ethan noticed, also looked over. Two gazes touched, as if two stars colliding in the universe, impacting a black, weightless force field. Billions of light years became ethereal and silent. Ethan picked lips, showing no doubt, only holding back. Next moment, Luna suddenly drove him to raise arms high like announcing the winner. Ethan laughed, wanting to put down, calling stop to this Chunabiu action, yet framed back to original place by her involuntarily. Warmth invaded body and mind. His whole person became lazy, giving up struggle. Impassioned chorus echoed in the venue, and their hands clasped tightly in spinning light spots. We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions, we are the champions. Coming out of the live house, as if returning to the human world from a magic cave, surrounding environment became dutiful and singular. Luna, who released for a night, couldn't withdraw for a while, still tasting, face holding smile. Ethan glanced at her many times. How was it? Luna paused, feigning accountability. You lied to me. Ethan raised eyebrows. I lied to you? Luna said. You said drummers don't like being noticed, but today that band's drummer was clearly very eye-catching. I was looking at him all the time. Ethan hummed a laugh, attitude unclear. Luna stared at him with burning eyes. Were you this handsome on stage before too? Ethan scornful. Handsomer than him. Luna made a weird syllable. Useless just talking. She muttered with small emotion. Listened for so long, I haven't seen you drum with my own eyes yet. Ethan's step stagnated slightly, then opened mouth. Wanna see? Luna raised voice. Now. Ethan held up phone, lit it. If you are not afraid of late, can come to my house. Luna frowned. I'm not afraid, but I'm afraid other residents will start report mode. Ethan realized later. Oh, right. Luna suggested. Tomorrow afternoon? Ethan agreed. Okay. Need to bring anything? Luna asked. I prepare in advance. Ethan said lukewarmly. Bring a bib. Luna scolded him, stinky fart arrogant, laughed for a good while again, then asked seriously. Can we walk slower on the way back? Slower than leaving the complex just now. Ethan slowed steps, moving like snail. Fine. Because I want to hold hands a while longer. No. You think so too, right? Luna, leave some blank space, okay? It was nearly early morning when arriving home. Luna feared disturbing Mrs. Miller, unlocking door stealthily. Unexpectedly, the other party was still dozing on sofa waiting for someone. Hearing noise, she popped up standing, rubbing eyes. Luna, you are back. Luna froze, bending mouth corners embarrassedly. Back late, why haven't you slept? Mrs. Miller smiled, seeing her smile. Waiting for you, right? Asking again. Ethan went back too. Luna put away canvas shoes, closed cabinet door. Mrs. Miller exclaimed. Seeing you two getting along so well, I'm also happy, relieved. All right, Luna's face slightly hot, smiling. Go rest. Mrs. Miller nodded. Okay, you sleep early too. When washing up, Luna wetted cotton pad, approached mirror, examining herself today. Livehouse hot environment made foundation on nose wing a tiny bit mottled, but her pupils were bright, cheeks moist, complexion like early spring clear sky. The long entrenched black dog seemed driven away. She turned back into that swan bathing in lake light. Quite good looking. No wonder downstairs just now, Ethan said hug a bit before going back. Result, two people hugged for at least 5 minutes before separating. Luna watched narcissistically for a good while, before covering eyelids with cotton pads left and right, lip corners rising, rubbing gently. She slept until naturally awake, sun-high 3 poles, before lifting eyelids strenuously. First thing was opening WeChat, seeing if boyfriend sent message. Ethan, up, sent 40+ minutes ago. After half an hour, another one, obviously patience one. Ethan, up or not? Luna got out of bed, opening curtains, smile like sunlight, instantly filling this bright morning, turning bedroom into a warm, translucent glass jar. Luna replied at window, moon pie, up now. Ethan, concise, come to my house. Luna replied, now? Ethan, Luna, any arrangement, drumming at this time, not very good, right? Ethan said, come eat. Luna pursed lips, you made it. Ethan, no, you come over first. Luna jaw dropped slightly. You call me over to cook for you. Ethan, together, okay. Luna said, but I want to put on makeup first. Ethan, come directly, not like haven't seen your bare face. Luna silent a second, okay. Brushed teeth, washed face, changed into loose t-shirt and shorts, Luna informed Mrs. Miller, went downstairs to keep appointment. When arriving at Ethan's house, seeing man also this careless home attire, Luna couldn't help muttering, we entered old married couple mode in advance. Ethan frowned. What? Luna pulled his t-shirt cuff. Look at you, what difference from usual, not solemn at all in front of me. Ethan glanced at her, eyes slightly looking up and down. Don't thief cry thief. Luna looked at his small face. Lucky your face is handsome. Ethan hummed a laugh, opening fridge. If not handsome could be pestered by you like this? Luna chased over, just about to roast back, man abruptly turned back, handing 2 eggs in hand to her. Go, beat eggs. Luna took over, 1 in each hand, walking to kitchen. Thinking of that unforgettable scene in Telescope last time, she observed left and right, finding that day's position, knocked rice cooker at high place with back of hand. Ethan happened to come over, stopped asking. Doing what? Luna turned face. Thinking what you were knocking with chopsticks that day. Can knock anything. Ethan lowered eyes, continuing to scrub white button mushrooms drifting in sync, tone relaxed. No need to stick to form. You seem to know one-handed egg cracking. Luna recalled. Ethan turned eyes. Is this some amazing skill? Luna picked up an egg, weighing gently. I just can't. Ethan hooked lips, said, give me, and ordered. Give me that bowl at your hand too. Luna handed over one by one. Ethan then started demonstrating. He placed porcelain bowl steadily, tapped bowl edge lightly, hung high, eggshell then obediently separated from middle crack to 2 sides, letting egg white flow out smoothly. His movements natural and casual. Looking into bowl again, egg yolk like round sun, undamaged. Luna surprised. How to do it? Ethan threw eggshell to trash can. Just control holding posture and force well. His brow tip picked slightly. Same as holding drumsticks. Luna asked, can I try? Try, Ethan chin signaled. There is one more in front of you if this fails, fridge has more. Luna shook head however. I wanted to say, can I knock your drum once? But you have to teach me how to use drumsticks first. Ethan nodded. Can, after eating, I teach you? Luna somewhat surprised at his generosity. Agreed so fast? Ethan eyes narrowed slightly. Anywhere wrong? Luna said. I thought you musicians would treat own instruments like exclusive magic weapon Horcrux, not allowing outsiders to look randomly, touch randomly. Instrument becomes magic weapon Horcrux only when used by people, otherwise it's an empty shelf, Ethan said lightly, then smiled slightly teasingly. You still treat yourself as outsider. Luna articulated clearly. Of course not. After eating, Ethan led Luna to his drum room. Here was not big difference from Luna's imagination. Separate room, 4 white walls, only placing drum kit. But that guy in center was too beautiful, removing bright silver symbols. Rest parts were all black, carrying a cold arrogance consistent with owner, appearing ready to stand up from ground anytime, converting to mechanical form sharply, looking down from above. That explosive force capable of penetrating and sweeping heaven-earth buildings was actually emitted from such square-inch place. So cool, Luna praised. Ethan arrogant as always. Don't look who is using. Luna sneered, following him closer. Ethan kicked drum's stool lightly. Sit. Luna heart beat faster, deep breath, sitting straight down. Ethan took out drumsticks placed properly in cowhide bag from side, handing one to Luna. She took over to look, wooden, surface polished smooth, walnut color, white engraving at end already blurred, clearly cold touch, yet inexplicably warm. Trying hard to identify letters, answer came from above head. Don't look, it's popcorn. Luna raised eyes inquiring. Ethan's face had no ups and downs. My former band's name. Luna, speechless for an instant, said, "Name is very cute, hey." Ethan's lip corner lifted shallow arc. First time hearing praise like this. Luna smiled slightly, holding drumstick high with both hands tiger's mouth, posture of soldier about to go to war or asking big shot to write calligraphy. Start teaching, teacher write. Ethan held that one in own hand, changing holding posture lightly. There are several kinds, I teach you beginner used much, matched grip. Luna nodded. Ethan lowered right hand demonstrating, pinch drum stick with 2 side fingers first, index finger first joint and thumb. He stared at Luna, narrating meticulously, eyes tone both like strict teacher. Like me, pinch at 1/3 place. Seeing her movement mostly correct, Ethan waved small amplitude in air. Every strike mainly relies on wrist, fingers force, arm is secondary, drummers you saw doing big movements are for handsome. Luna laughed. Oh, but for you still hard. Ethan said, some beginners will subconsciously use arm to hit, need to practice opening wrist repeatedly to successfully find correct force way. Luna still nodded. Ethan gave her this one in own hand. Try, 2 together, follow grip I said just now. Luna grabbed separately with 2 hands, not very confidently reproducing grip posture he detailed just now. Wrong. Ethan walked to her back on his own, leaning upper body low, arms crossing 2 sides, correcting wrong details on her hands. Don't grip too tight. Man rarely serious, warm breath sprayed on Luna ear tip. She tickled shrinking neck low, lip corner stealing rise. Drumstick can shake between fingers but can't drop, understand? Luna face red, heart beating dead fast, unable to calm down listening at all. Confirming her movement basically correct, his hands slid down, holding her slender wrist, raising, leading her to knock once on drum surfaces of 2 tom-toms in front. Continuous dull sound straight into eardrum, making heart resonate. Luna stunned, turns out it is this sound. Her interest rose high, tried twice herself, thrum, thrum, exactly same sound transmitted, knocked by her personally. Luna smiled brilliantly, turned face pleasantly seeking approval, unexpectedly movement amplitude too fierce, lips seemingly brushed Ethan's jaw. She surprisedly, very light, but they could all hear, could all perceive. So Ethan also noticed, he moved no more, lowering eyelids, glancing slightly sideways. Luna too, cheeks rapidly red, eyes became dodging, pinching drumsticks helplessly. Dust dancing in air, room unbelievably quiet, dreamlike. After moment of excessively close sight interweaving, Ethan uncomfortable all over, his Adam's apple moved, just about to get up, forearm suddenly pulled by girl sitting there with both hands. In his eyes looking back again, darkening, Luna swallowed saliva helplessly. Ask off-topic question, her face burning, panicking. Do you know how to kiss? Ethan ears also slightly red, his chest heaved once, voice dry. Truth to tell, I don't really know. Try, Luna proposed shyly yet bravely, 2 distinct emotions unexpectedly harmonious on her red face. This time point seems not very suitable to knock. Voice not fallen, her chin was pride high, Ethan's shadow covered down without hesitation. Clumsy yet strong, until reverting to original owner, lips and teeth depending, hard to separate. Luna's heart bounced fiercely, time became soft, whirled like melting milky white ice cream, dripping melting, flowing, she closed eyes forgetting self, sinking deep in breath they pasted each other. They kissed for a long time. Ethan held her back waist tight, girl so easy to kiss, sweet as candy, as sweet rain. Luna felt herself being swallowed, man's hormones occupying surgingly. Finally, they separated forcibly before suffocation. 2 people lifted eyelids simultaneously in close distance, laughing together in others' pupils. Luna hand propped on his chest. Ethan, your heart beats so fast. Ethan, she said in air tone, faster than you drumming. Ethan exhaled breath, pulled lips, looking both jerk and sincere. First time kissing girl, can it not be fast? Luna apple muscle instantly moved up. I also kiss boy first time, hey. Ethan hummed lightly, hand moved back encircling her tight. Hug a while more. Luna also surrounded him with slender arms, side head pillowed on his shoulder. 2 people sat hugging quietly, listening to others' breathing, smelling mutual scent, like neck-crossing animals, 1 female, 1 male, no more hostility after probing and revealing, obediently sharing enclosure, then converting to one body. Ethan, Luna called him suddenly. Ethan. She still had too much curiosity about him. Why not drum anymore? Ethan, brows raised slightly high. Aren't I drumming? Luna added. I mean, why not drum on stage? Ethan, tone flat. Didn't I say band disbanded? Because too close, their conversation voice seemed not grinded out from lips' teeth, but whisper meeting in cavity belly, also only they could hear. Luna asked, Plan for hereafter? Ethan said. Haven't thought well. He stuck close to her tender ear profile, pecking uncontrollably. But should think. Humans so weird, never satisfied in skin intimacy. Luna tickled, laughing. Why? Ethan understated. Because added a reason for living. Luna knew clearly in heart, yet played dumb. What? Ethan said. Luna Gardner. Luna mouth corner about to tilt to sky. Ethan said. Not calling you. I know, her voice vague due to secret joy. I know Luna Gardner is that reason I asked like this deliberately. Ethan hooked lips, low voice. Can I too? Luna straightened body, looking at his eyes. Can what? Ethan looked back too. Become one of reasons you live. Because of this sentence, because of this word, this, living, easily, usually, zero weight like sunshine air for majority for her, was once 1,000-pound Jack, once even breathing was strenuous. Luna eye sockets rapidly accumulated tears. She choked. But I don't know if I recovered, maybe just temporary. I am still taking medicine and treating. I am very afraid of dragging you down, but I want to approach you. Can't help. When left cheek felt hot flow, she raised hand instinctively to wipe. Ethan was step faster, using thumb to wipe for her. Ethan gazed deeply at her crying face, eyes also slightly damp. He pulled her back to front again. Close. How come I feel not close enough? Luna held back tears, holding smile. Clearly close to can't be closer. Ethan didn't speak, just hugging, tight too, as if she was also soil and light he relied on to survive. Luna muttered with heavy nasal sound. I don't want to force you, because this illness is being forced to do something, to become some kind of person. Will be very painful, I know, if you feel effort is tired, being a pair of useless couple is also very good. Ethan said, however. I am started thinking right at that night confirming relationship with you. Give me a little more time, Luna. Luna took a nap at Ethan's place, successfully claiming man's bed as own. Before sleeping, Ethan kept accompanying in room, chatting on and off. She rolled excitedly for a good while before sleepy, fell head sleeping soundly. When waking up already evening, setting sun reflected on floor, divided by window frame, like orange glass slide. Touching ears walking out of bedroom, Luna looked around, but didn't see Ethan, had to shout his name loud. Thrum quiet air instantly awakened, because this unthinking and energy-full response. Luna stunned, immediately grinned, running fast to room at end of corridor. First sight was young man sitting behind drum kit, boyfriend handsome enough to make her crow. He turned drumstick with single hand, lip corner hooked high, looking confident undoubtedly. Came. Luna hands behind back, walking inside lightly like cat. I shouldn't be late? Ethan looked towards her, feigning dissatisfaction, frowning. Where is Bib? Luna rolled super big eyes. Ethan hummed laugh, doing final reminder. Protect Hartwell. Luna ah. Once, reaction not come yet, fierce drum beats already bounced out under his seemingly casual yet rhythmic strikes. She realized instantly meaning of his sentence, protect Hartwell. Her chest was shocked to numb, even pressing tight couldn't curb. Moreover, man not only hand movement, legs also bumping high frequency. Ground midair, overhead, top down, inside out, completely permeated by this rolling stone thunder like strong noise, making people tremble involuntarily, conquered by it. So Luna couldn't close mouth, also unblinking eyes, manner nearly silly. Ethan laughed. He waved drumsticks increasingly arrogantly, eyes full of enjoyment and control. His dark night tide surging like belief and aura paved with drum sound, layered progressive, until completely besieging this room, this building, this world, no one survived. In such arrogant shaking, Luna filled with tears. Before sleeping at night, Ethan's live drum sound still remained in her head, roaring endlessly, lingering. Luna tossed and turned, simply searched Popcorn's data. Result unexpectedly much, many web pages had Ethan appearance. Rock fans jokingly called him Little Lion, saying he always looked temper hot hard to provoke, saying his face value too high more face representative than vocalist, saying his drumming talent and ability not losing to famous foreign drummers. Their band also had Weibo. Last one was announcement announcing disbanding. As if collapse of an empire, many fans regretted and cherished in comment area, Luna scrolled for long, reading happy and heartache. Finally, she clicked music app, heart surging listening to their album again and again, especially drum sound in background. Next morning, she received boyfriend's greeting. He screenshot her moment's new background, only one. That was a solo photo of him performing on stage before, very dynamic. Him sitting behind drum kit, black tee, white skin, smile wanton, posture domineering, looking insufferably arrogant. Luna curved lips. My idol's photo, good looking, Ethan replied. Bit better than previous one. Luna holding back joy, I think so too. Ethan straight to subject, free these days. Luna typed. Ethan, I go to New York for 3 days, you want to join? Luna, doing what? Ethan said. Work matter? Luna raised eyebrows somewhat surprisingly, considering moment not showing off. Can is can, but have to report to my mom and psychologist first. Ethan, okay, don't force. Luna said, how could? Ethan asked again. Home right now, Luna said, haven't got up yet. Ethan replied a pig head. I go over now. Luna, for what? Ethan didn't reply again. 10 minutes later, home bell rang, Luna still skincare busy put down cream, opening door ahead of Mrs. Miller. Man in all black walked in expressionless, left hand carrying folding ladder, rear hand carrying toolbox. Luna bluffed by his array, puzzled. What is this for? Ethan tilted head sweeping stainless steel security net outside living room window, pretending frowning unhappy. Although saying out somewhat childish, but they block me watching my girlfriend. A morning of busy work turned Luna's house from sealed silver cage back to glass flower room, became bright and clean, sunlight overflowing. Mrs. Miller laughed and anxious, confirming with Luna repeatedly. Not tell your mom first? He does himself. Mom won't say anything like this dismantled. After realizing unable to obstruct, she concerned about Ethan's personal safety. Still find someone to do dangerous like this. Aya Ethan, you young man, why not listen? Chattering, reading nonstop, all useless work. Luna, naturally worried too, kept holding ladder for him beside, helping hand, after all floor not low. But Ethan, this person leaned strong, so didn't take much trouble dismantling living room balcony security net empty. 2 people stood side by side behind railing, taking sea blue sky into eyes. Luna deep breath, eyes curved into small slits. Feel air is fresh. She turned eyes looking at Ethan. What do you think? Ethan looked back, finally pleasing to eye. Luna laughed, face bright white under skylight. You didn't steal, look at me less right. Ethan, accustomed to her thief crying thief behavior. Who steal, look who? Luna said. If I didn't steal, look at you, would you discover me? Ethan's hand tapped lightly on crossbar, thought. That wouldn't, Ethan exhaled, but I really noticed you because of this guardrail. Luna's silenced voice said only after while. Last year I committed suicide twice, didn't succeed. Ethan turned back, grabbing her 2 wrists one by one, checking, confirming no scar, only then secretly relaxed, but hand didn't release because of this, instead strangled tighter. His eyes also looked at her tightly, gaze powerful, containing 1,000 words. Luna muttered like child making mistake. Took medicine, washed stomach, because wanted to be prettier. Ethan face pale quiet, sight however increasingly hot. Luna head temperature rising, wanted to struggle open. Ethan didn't let go, finally pulled her to arms very simply, hugging irrefutably. Luna also hugged back, voice muffled. Have you thought about it? Ethan's chin rubbed lightly on top of her head. Thought about it, I guess. Luna said. Finally, what defeated this kind of thought? Ethan said. Just like you said, I can still knock, isn't it? Luna nose sour. Yeah, how good. Ethan stroked long hair like soft satin on her back. I prepare to go to New York for interview this week. Luna stunned. Interview what? Ethan said. My friend introduced me a job, an artist team looking for drummer. Luna raised lips. That's very good. Ethan released her, changed to holding her shoulders. Just take you out to play 2 days. Luna pouted. I really want to go, but still have to ask my mom. That afternoon, Luna told mom about this. Daughter broke desolate sky, having desire to go out relax. She naturally wouldn't stop. But she also raised a request. Simply must bring Luna's brother along, couldn't just travel 2 people alone. Luna understood her anxiety, so didn't argue much, turned to ask Ethan attitude. Ethan replied in WeChat, I have no opinion. Luna acted up instead, you don't want two people world with me? Ethan said, want. Luna laughed. Then you still, I have no opinion. Ethan, substitute your parents have opinion. Luna light hum, my mom knew your great deed dismantling window from Mrs. Miller today. Ethan asked, your mom what reaction? Luna sent voice directly, reproducing mom hissing exclamation on other end of phone. Your boyfriend guts how so big? Ethan asked. How did you reply? Luna smiled, just fear nothing in heaven or earth can take down your daughter. Friday afternoon, Luna's mom sent Leo over. Luna hasn't seen brother for half year, didn't expect he already taller than her by a head, she raised eyes, shocked face. Leo, you this tall? Boy spread hands. Don't I grow, sis? Luna. Mom left, siblings ate fruit at table, Leo sized her up many times, wishing to speak but stopping. Luna uncomfortable being looked at. Looking at what constantly? Leo threw a blueberry in mouth. Having boyfriend is different hey sis. Luna glanced at him coldly. What meaning? Leo laughed. Complexion ruddy lustrous. Luna also looked at him, tit for tat. You also different hey high school student, why buzz cut? Leo brow center tightened. Annoying, getting up early dark late too bitter, don't want to blow dry styling every day. Luna comforted. Quite handsome like this. Leo touched hairy, prickly refreshing hair twice. Right, I think so too, handsomer. Luna suddenly laughed sneeringly as if thinking of something. Leo asked, laugh what laugh? Luna said, you and my boyfriend should have quite common topic. Same stinky fart arrogant. Leo, how so? Luna silent, keeping suspense. Next morning early, catching plain relation, 4-something Ethan came to Luna's house. Opening door for him was Leo holding small bread in mouth. Ethan guessed who he was, so not surprised. But spirit-wandering boy still half-dreaming, half-awake, instantly widened eyes, taking away bread in mouth. You are that one. Ethan confused. Which one? Leo heartbeat accelerated, trembling voice reporting family. I am popcorn. Ethan raised eyebrows slightly surprisingly. Oh, hello. Sis, Leo turned back, bounding to corridor 3 steps as 2. Sis, Luna rubbing ears. Shouting what time is this? You want neighbor finding door? Leo ventilation sound excited howling. Why didn't you tell me your boyfriend is Popcorn's drummer? This time turn Luna face question mark. Sitting on taxi to airport, co-pilot Leo still excited no peace, frequently looking back at Ethan, constantly finding chance to talk to him, also mouth sweet beating honey, praising their songs, sighing their performance, one mouthful bro. Ethan calm, responding whole journey. When boarding following stream of people, Leo already shameless upgrading title. Bro-in-law, you slow down. Ethan light laugh, somewhat helpless tilting head. Luna heavy hammer his arm, baring teeth. You have what big illness? In cabin, 3 people sat together, Leo by window, Ethan by aisle, Luna sandwich. However, Leo still frequently crossed sister communicating with Ethan, asking east-west. Ethan also answered one by one. Luna noticing, found he unexpectedly patient to her brother, even exceeding herself. Luna unhappy, gouged glance at Leo, knife hidden in smile. Leo, you sit to middle come okay. Leo waved hand. No, how can I break you apart? Stopped for a moment, he sighed head called again, bro-in-law. Luna viciously looked back. Leo, nothing. Finished speaking honestly sitting tight. Just preparing to dig out eye mask from bag putting on napping. Luna's hand intercepted midway, buckled back not light not heavy, heart trembled, side eye finding Ethan, hand owner motionless, only lifting eyelids. Side coming a mutual understanding look, then turning off phone. Luna steel rising mouth corner, also quietly clasping back. Window white cloud like flock, rimmed gold edge, soft boundless. Leo fed up with silent mode swelled by curiosity again, unbearable opening mouth. Can I ask last question? Luna heart side breath. Ask, Leo asked. We going to New York for 3 days just playing? Luna shook head. No, Ethan has some work matter. Leo strange. Then why? Didn't bring drum? Ethan admired siblings' one vein inherited single track mind. That big how to bring. Also, Leo scratched head. I thought you musicians must carry own instruments because familiar. Ethan said. Bring drumsticks fine. Leo brow raised, tangled a while asked. Can look, reject also fine, I know this request bit excessive. Ethan, no strange color, drawing out 2 drumsticks from black backpack, generous handing him. Look, Luna reminded seriously in middle. Don't break. Leo nodded repeatedly, holding in hand looking carefully, and commented, Wow, quite heavy. Luna hummed. Don't look whose drumsticks? Leo twice, turning over surprised finding, has engraving on it too. This Luna knew, answering for boyfriend in advance. Don't ask is his former band's name. Not ah. Leo bent close, identifying letters on top. Next moment, he tusked, head clever handing back drumsticks, finished looking not looking thanks. Ethan hooked lips. Just a while saw logic, Leo. Then pretending aggrieved. Isn't just dog food. I eat okay isn't just being third wheel. Entrusted by mom what way I have, Luna didn't know inside, looking left right 2 people. What are you saying? Leo faced grief and indignation. You treat me blind. That engraving is fart band name, clearly is your WeChat name. 3 people stayed in a hotel near Business District in New York. Ethan booked 2 guest rooms, 1 standard room, 1 king bedroom. After handling ID and room card, Ethan walked back to siblings. Just wanted to help Luna carry luggage. Leo already snatched over first, mouth vibrating sound. Bro-in-law please protect hands well, don't let fans worry. Ethan pale smile, carrying 2 not heavy. Leo tensed biceps like shoulder pole. I am man hey. Luna seeing situation, squeezed words coolly. Before didn't see you so warm active to me. Leo tusked. I grew up sensible right? Walking into sedan elevator, Ethan distributed room cards to 2. Leo took away, lowered head looking few times, leaning close checking sisters. Luna pocketed not showing him. He could only look up asking Ethan. My sis lives which floor? Ethan said. 22. Leo asked again. You? Ethan said. 17. Yeah, how come same room with me? Leo feigned surprise. You don't live same room. Luna kicked his calf belly. Leo raised leg dodging far, then laughed mischievously. At 17F, Ethan held door open button, instructed. You go to room first, I send your sis up. Leo obediently handed sister's luggage to his hand, hippied smile. Understand, no need treat me as fool. Then scratched head avoiding old sis sharp eye knife, twisting body dragging suitcase running far. Sedan quiet again, only left 2 people, standing shoulder to shoulder. Luna slowly exhaled breath, looking at Ethan helplessly. My brother always like this, please forgive. Ethan smiled, looking at her from metal reflective wall. Very good, makes me appear mature. Luna felt it, also looking at boyfriend, that handsome, very recognizable face from inside. You mature ghost. 2 gazes met, laughing simultaneously, seemingly natural tacit understanding. Elevator door opened again. Luna followed Ethan walking out elevator, passing along long carpet in corridor, like stepping on soft fertile soil. She looked at hanging paintings on wall, face excited. Long time no out, feel hotel decoration fresh. Ethan looked at her once, just smiling, not squeaking. Once entering door, Luna held back all way head plunged into Ethan arms, 2 arms hugging dead tight. She could feel man's chest heaving heavily, also raising arm pressing her. Just hugging like this, they seemed filled solid, warm, dense, no more regret. Luna's hair strands had faint sweet scent, Ethan sniffing very lightly, feeling every pore dilating because of this, becoming immersed. Girl's nearly inaudible whisper came from below. I feel I seem got new disease. Ethan asked. What disease? Luna said. Scientific name bit long, called will get sick not hugged by Ethan. Her skilled cheesy pickup lines always induced laughing. Ethan tried hard to echo. Then I probably infected too. Luna puff laugh, once not enough, hummed again, unstoppable. Her stealing laugh breath sprayed on his shoulder socket, hot and itchy. Ethan throat choked, catching her chin high, letting both fall into others' eyes. Luna tried hard holding laughter. Ethan followed laughing, pout. For what? She played dumb. Ethan said very directly, I want a kiss. Luna refused to submit, pursing dead tight, smile in eyes already burst dyke. Ethan just watching, using emotion extremely thick eyes prying and attacking. Can you not look at me like this? Luna couldn't carry, moving close to Beau kiss him, not leaving after kissing, just pouting waiting his response. Ethan lowered head containing her lip petal, no more gap. Movement gradually fierce, Ethan took her turning body, treating wall as temporary reliance. He single-hand propped wall, joints forceful, bending low deep kiss, kissing until ear, root, and back neck overflowed layer of red tide. Mind confused, emotion lost, Luna pinched tight his lapel, later legs soft terrible, hands moving up, rubbing his cheeks, ears, and hair, finally could only hang on his neck. Ears filled with both sides urgent panting. Luna guessed might add new disease, named skin hunger, her hand almost unconsciously, touching into his t-shirt back hem, moving on man's skeleton distinct back. Ethan stopped, breath sound heavily laughed once, stopping at her ear side. Wanna do what? His voice low husky, carrying bit frivolous, sexy killing. Luna hurriedly pulled hand back, clenching fist, raising high, gesture surrender, rapidly clearing relationship. They moved hand first, no relation to me. Haven't finished speaking self cracked laughing first. Ethan hooked lips, pulling distance. Next second, he simply took off upper shirt, lean upper body revealed completely before her eyes. Luna almost screamed, turning face away, yet couldn't help stealing glance, pretending embarrassed. You only want to do what? Ethan flung away scattered bangs, revealing handsome eyebrows eyes, looking at door again, banter. Hurry touch a while, I going down, staying more your brother gonna call. He dares, Luna laughed, pretending strict, then finding chest skin he kissed red a patch, couldn't help asking. Ethan, are you not very able to drink? Ethan frowned. Why suddenly ask this? She used index finger poking his chest center. Here all red, I guess you drinking should also easily go to face. He followed look once, not denying, is easy go to face? Luna asked. Then easy go to head, Ethan said, also bit. Luna lowered eyelashes, ulterior motive asking. Are you go to head right now? Ethan stared her few seconds, hands framing her head, mischievously rubbing messy her hair, then gathering her to front, hugging, relieving and suppressing other emotions, before girl raised hand resisting. He low voice spit out vulgar sentence. Why not ask if I want to FK you? Luna red face pushing him far. Ethan stood still, pulled a smile, picked up t-shirt on ground, putting on. Gone, I go call your brother, you pack well send message to me, we go down eat. Luna nodded, clinging on door frame seeing boyfriend go far. Third time turning back seeing girlfriend noggin still poking there, Ethan waved hand. Go in you. She just shrank back. In down elevator, Ethan absent-minded standing, again baffling laughing. He endured, adjusting expression facing bronze mirror-like wall before walking out. Returning to room, Leo already leaning on bed head horizontal screen playing game. Once seeing Ethan, he threw meaningful glance, sitting straight. Idle, I gave bed near balcony to you, bed near toilet to me, this distribution very selfless noble right. Ethan stopped at table pulling bag chain, said, Thanks. Leo wild smile. Bro-in-law you so fast, I haven't finished one game. Ethan paused, throwing own neck pillow over, smashing his chest. Leo wore on own neck, begging mercy. Okay, not saying. Putting away clothes and toiletries, Ethan sat on single sofa, also looking on phone, eyes slowly unfocused, thoughtful. Hearing victory, prompt tone, he looked at Leo. Leo, ask you something. Boy on bed raised eyes. Ethan asked, Your sister's matter convenient to say? Leo's smile converged instantly, putting aside phone. My sister what matter? Ethan bent lips. Don't nervous, I know your sister's general condition, just want to ask clear. Leo's shoulders collapsed, no more alert. What you want to ask? Ethan didn't beat around bush. Did she hurt foot or leg? Completely can't dance hereafter. Leo face suddenly dark, muffled a while said, Not completely can't, but jumping like before is impossible. Seems for normal walking hereafter, not affecting life, did surgery above talus bone, so can't high-intensity training and performing again. For her is devastating blow. My sister used to be pillar, teaching class beside performing. I followed parents watching several her shows, Swan Lake, Nutcracker, J-Cell, Butterfly Lovers. None she didn't dance well, that extension feeling on stage truly absolute. Boy face remorse. Later she hospitalized and moved because emotion problem, thinking I didn't know, lying to me going to institution rehab. Actually, how could I not know, just busy high school exam then, really no way, felt myself can't help anything. Speaking, he read eye sockets, tone regretful. You don't know my sister danced how good before, pity you can't see, and she super likes dancing, going home rest practicing basics. Sigh, Leo hands rubbed eyes, sighing. My mom told me while ago my sister name not named well, giving her such name Gui Ting Yue return court moon, meaning not good, good little girl can't walk out, trapping herself in Hart Courtyard, would be fine if named free unrestrained, like little son. Leo lightly sucked air, looking at him. But thanks to you, seeing my sister this time, I feel her state much better. Ethan lowered eyes smiling. You said reverse. Leo confused. Ah, Ethan didn't take words. Past a while he clicked WeChat, finding girlfriend talking, asking her, Done, I go up pick you. Luna, wait. And adding, want to two people world with you in WeChat more. Ethan hooked lips, not hiding investigation just now. Just fished lot of your info from your brother. Luna's seconds reply, what, did he badmouth me? Ethan relayed his conversation with Leo to her verbatim. Luna replied with a defeated oars emoji. Looking at it this way, maybe being named Luna wasn't a good idea. The moon is prone to being listless, low energy, just like my old social media background. Ethan was silent for a moment before asking, do you know a basic fact? Luna, what? Ethan said, moonlight is actually sunlight. Luna, even elementary schoolers know that, Ethan said. Although it's not as intense or scorching, she is the only one who can light up the dark night. Once the young couple started chatting, they couldn't stop. By the time Ethan looked up from his phone, Leo Gardner on the other bed was already snoring under the covers. He called out Leo twice, neither too loud nor too soft, but the boy didn't move a muscle. Ethan had to lower his head and message his sister, your brother fell asleep. Luna, what a pig. Ethan replied, like sister, like brother. Luna replied with a fist emoji, then let's go out. Ethan, I'll come get you. Ethan left a note on the bedside table and tucked the quilt around Leo's legs before heading out to pick up Luna. They had only been apart for an hour, yet the girl demanded a hug as if they had been separated for an epic. Ethan pulled her close, curling his lips, his voice lazy. Can hugs replace food? Hearing the laughter vibrating from his chest, Luna beamed. Yes, they can. Ethan stroked her spine with one hand and shoved the other into his pocket to check his phone, glancing at it. Hug for 3 minutes, then we go down. I'm hungry. 3 minutes later, Luna was thoroughly clinging to him, relentless, like superglue that couldn't be peeled off. Ethan simply scooped her up and carried her to the elevator. Only then did Luna beg for mercy. After her feet touched the ground, she blushed while tidying her hair and the hem of her clothes, asking seriously, what are your plans for the afternoon? Ethan said, meeting a friend. Luna's eyes lit up. Do you need a family member to accompany you? Ethan thought for a moment. You could go or not. He's very annoying. If he sees you, he'll conduct a census investigation. Luna glanced at him sideways. If it's inconvenient, I won't go. Ethan mused. You should rest in your room this afternoon like Leo. I'll come back as soon as I'm done. Luna felt regretful, her eyelashes drooping. All right then. Ethan raised his hand, pinching her cheeks with his thumb and forefinger. What's wrong? Unhappy? Luna tried to pry his hand away, but he used a bit more force to squish her lips into a pout. Not really, she feigned anger, her voice muffled. Let go. Ethan didn't let go. Instead, he lowered his head and pressed his lips against hers very lightly, very quickly, and then released her. Luna froze, then burst into laughter, raising her hands to cup her face, rubbing her cheeks that were now as red as little flowers. The two had lunch at a well-regarded brunch spot nearby. Before returning to the hotel, Ethan ordered a salad and pasta to go for Leo. Just in case Leo was still sleeping, Ethan stayed in his girlfriend's room for a while first. They dragged the sofa to the floor-to-ceiling window, chatting while bathed in sunlight. It felt like being immersed in warm syrup. They stuck together again, thick with affection. Ethan squinted in the sun, sinking comfortably into the sofa. Luna, kneeling before him with her chin resting on his left shoulder, leaned into him as well. She pressed softly against his chest. Amidst their friction, there was a sensation that was impossible to ignore. Luna tried to hold Ethan's shoulders to sit up straight, but he pressed her back down. His hand slid toward her thigh under her dress. The girl's skin was incredibly smooth, almost like an invitation for him to go deeper. Ethan swallowed hard and pulled the nearby curtain halfway shut. The room instantly dimmed. We can't keep staying together like this. Luna's breathing was erratic, her words gradually becoming indistinct. Don't you agree? He responded very quietly. The patches of light on the carpet moved slowly. The wet sounds of kissing mixed with heavy breathing, making the room as sweltering as a midsummer day. After Luna fell asleep, Ethan washed his face, changed his clothes, and sent his location to Ken Connor. Ken replied, "You arrived?" Ethan said, "Arrived at noon." Ken also sent an address. Judging by the name, it was a coffee shop. Call a cab and come here. Before leaving, Ethan walked to the bedside to say goodbye to Luna. After receiving a muffled response that sounded like sleep talking, he curved his lips in a smile, grabbed his bag, and walked out the door. "Is scheduling your interview for tomorrow morning okay?" Ken asked the man walking into the booth, getting straight to the point. Ethan picked up the pure white porcelain cup in front of him, took a sip, and said unhurriedly, "I didn't say I came for an interview." Ken looked bewildered, blinking rapidly. "Then why did you come to me?" Ethan put down the cup, his voice calm. "I want to reform popcorn and find new members. This time, I'll be the leader." Ken froze. Ethan said, "I sold the apartment near Songnengkao. I have some money in hand. Do you still want to be an agent?" "Motherfucker, are you messing with me?" Just doing whatever comes to mind, Ken found it hard to believe and started cursing. "I really want to throw this cup in your face." Ethan's lips hooked slightly. He lowered his head, took out the drumsticks from his bag, and placed them in the center of the table. His expression was solemn, as if facing a religion. "I've considered it seriously. I'm not playing around. I swear on my drumsticks." Ken clenched his fist, reached out his left hand to fish the drumsticks closer, and said with disdain, "2 sticks are worth jack shit." But when he leaned in to look closely, his expression shifted slightly and his eyes turned red. "You're still using these 2. "What else?" Ethan scoffed coldly. "Didn't you say that I was the only one stuck in the past while you all moved forward?" Ken noticed the new engraving on them, pointed at it, and asked. "What's this?" Ethan said. "My girlfriend's username." "Damn." Ken put them back as if he had touched a slug. Ethan took them back and put them away. "Will you consider it?" "Consider what I won't consider it." Ken looked completely annoyed. "I'll quit my job tomorrow. There's no need to consider anything. I'm a loner anyway." Ethan revealed a rare, wide smile. "Thanks, Ken." Meanwhile, Luna, having woken up, had delivered lunch to her brother's room. Leo was sitting with his legs crossed like a lord, slurping the reheated pasta without lifting his head. Luna was editing photos on her phone. She had taken many beautiful shots at lunch and wanted to post them all to her social media feed. For the first time in nearly 2 years, she shared travel updates on her timeline. Every photo was bright and vivid, tagged to certify its authenticity. Her friends and former colleagues knew somewhat of her situation. While surprised, they didn't ask too many questions, only liking the post and leaving friendly comments telling her to hang out with them when she was free. Luna replied to and thanked them one by one. By the end, her eyes were uncontrollably filled with tears. She wiped the corners of her eyes and backed out to the chat list, wanting to ask Ethan if he was done. Unexpectedly, a teacher from her former dance troupe messaged her privately. "Luna, did you go to New York?" Luna paused. The teacher said, "What a coincidence, we just came back from there." Luna typed, "Did you have a performance?" Teacher, "Yes." The chat box was silent for a moment before the teacher suddenly asked, "Are you feeling better these days?" Luna froze, a hot, acidic soreness surging in her eyes. "Much better." The teacher asked, "Do you want to come back to our troupe?" Luna sniffled, confused and hesitant. "Can I still go back?" The teacher's tone was kind. "Of course. I've been thinking of you. Have you considered taking the exam to come back to the troupe as a choreography instructor?" Luna was stunned, her eyes widening. "Can I? I don't have experience in that area." The teacher, however, sent a file. "You were the female lead in the troupe for so long. You've discussed movements plenty of times and taught the juniors. Who would dare say they have more experience than you? The troupe happens to be recruiting choreographers. I mentioned you to Mr. Lay, and he said he still thinks of you. He even joked that if Luna really wanted to come back as a choreographer, he would definitely open the back door for you. If you're willing, you can give it a try. You haven't had any news for a year or so, and I didn't feel it was appropriate to ask you directly, fearing it would bring up sad memories. I've been secretly in touch with your mother. She said you're in a relationship recently and your mood is much better. Is that true?" A tear fell onto the screen. Luna wiped it away with her fingertip, making the words clear again. "Thank you, teacher." Leo, who had just cleared his food container, looked up. Upon meeting her eyes, he jumped up from his chair, frantically grabbing tissues. "Sis, why are you crying like that? Who messed with you? Where did my brother-in-law go?" Luna didn't answer. She just curled up her legs, hugged herself, and wailed aloud, as if to expel every bit of the bitter residue accumulated in her heart. Rushing back to the hotel against the setting sun, Ethan went to Luna's room first. Knocking and finding no one there, he went down to Leo's room to find her. Leo had always been tactful. The moment he saw his brother-in-law enter, he claimed he needed to go downstairs to buy soda, then bolted without looking back, leaving the field to the couple in love. Turning his head to watch the boy walk away, Ethan turned back and smiled slightly at the girl sitting there. "Wanna go for a walk?" Luna nodded and stood up. "Okay." They took a taxi to the riverside. Night was falling, and the city lights were coming on. The world looked like a magnificent jewelry box. Ethan held her hand, walking slowly and leisurely, silent for a long time. "Luna Gardner, Ethan Wright." After walking for a while, they suddenly called each other's names in unison, hesitating to speak. Luna burst out laughing. "You say it first." Ethan frowned slightly, serious. "You say it." Luna said, "I have something to tell you. Do you have something to tell me too?" Ethan gave Luna held onto the railing, opened her mouth to take a deep breath, and puffed out her chest. "It seems I have a chance to return to the dance troupe." Ethan raised an eyebrow slightly. "Really? I might be restarting the band too." Luna looked back at him in pleasant surprise. Ethan happened to be looking at her too, unblinking. Their eyes were clear and determined, no longer lost. They shimmered with smiles, rejoicing for each other. "Won't you tell me the details, Miss Gardner? You have to trade yours first." The two stood side by side, gazing into the distance, talking and laughing. As far as the eye could see, the vast sky was endless, and the moon brushed over the great river. "Luna Gardner, greetings. I am very happy that this diary is ending here. Do you remember when you turned to the first page, how you decided on its ending? Back then, you felt fate was unfair, making you the unluckiest person in the world. Your world was pitch black. One time, coming back from treatment, you saw a sliver of a cold white moon on the horizon, small and lightless. You took a picture of it because you felt you were very much like it. After returning home, you desperately set two options for yourself. A, the diary ends on the day you completely give up on yourself and successfully bid farewell to this screwed-up world. B, the diary ends on the day you get better and turn back into a person with color and warmth. So 6 months ago, it was a suicide note you were writing to the world. But 6 months later, you met a very good person, and it thus became a carrier for a young girl's secret thoughts. Now, you are together with this very good person. You love each other deeply and accept each other. You can pour your heart out to him, far beyond the written words on paper. You have also found a new trajectory and direction. You have moved from the front of the stage to behind the scenes, but you still orbit your favorite star. The universe is so vast, and the dimensions of life are so broad. I am truly rejoiced that you slowly realized that all roads lead to Rome, and you no longer acknowledge only binary options and rigid frames. I congratulate you on summoning the courage to naturally step into a new stage of life and open a new chapter of living. But you and I both know that living is not a simple or easy thing. So, for every day that follows, I do not require you to be positive at all times. I allow you to be disheartened. You can eat well and sleep soundly, or you can be sleepless and unable to swallow. You can be restrained, diligent, and conscientious, or you can be self-indulgent, lazy, and hedonistic. You can be calm and composed, or you can be hysterical. You can be fierce, decisive, gentle, and optimistic, or you can be weak, indecisive, unreasonable, and sad. Saying all this, I just want to tell you, in the future, whether there is laughter or tears, conflict or smoothness, dimness or glory, whether you are mediocre and accomplish nothing, or achieve fame and success, you must be certain of one thing. On the stage of life, you are still in the center. You are your own principal ballerina. You emit a light that is unique to you. End of text.